Hello, nerds. I never get used to how abrupt that shit cuts off. Chrissy's. Hello, you fucking nerds. Welcome. I know, less effort this year than last year, huh? We're not in front of a green screen. We're not fucking sweating our balls off in front of like 150-watt lights. That's because I don't have the energy for that, and my power bill's expensive. Let's get the screen share pulled up. Arg. Internet browser, and then lo-fi. No. There we go. All right, can you guys see this? I'm gonna try to keep an eye. Anyways, welcome to the end of the year 2025 video game tier list, everyone. So if you're new here, or I'll just give a refresher for the people who aren't new here, is that God, what's going on with the lighting? It's already fucked. We're so fucked, Master Chief. Master Chief, we're so fucked. You can already tell it's gonna be a good stream. I'm already making jokes. So at the end of every year, I like to kind of look back at everything we played and watched, anime and video game, and rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. For those who don't know, I kind of do that on my own anyways, and I like to share with you kind of the opinion about it, because I happen to play a lot of video games and watch a lot of anime, and it's just my general opinion. It's not the de facto opinion, and it's just kind of like, here's what I think about blah, 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 right? Because I stream, therefore I have opinion. And this year, we played 59 games. Or I played 59 games. Some of these were on stream. A lot of these were not on stream. Last year, I think it was like 71. So we played a lot less than before. I can't wait to be dead last in both. So I will explain the rules. So prior to this, if you are new, we in our Discord have 2 prizes going on. The first prize is we're going to be doing a trivia question about every 5 questions in here. Whoever gets the most trivia questions correct, you will earn you can pick any of the 59 games we have here tonight, and I will gift it to you. The other was, prior to this, about a week or so ago, I asked you to try to guess the top 5, not in order, just any of the 5. You just were laughing at my guesses. I think you actually tied. No, Courtney, you tied with first, as far as, like, your correct guesses. And you had one that no one else guessed. Yeah, Whis doesn't count. So you were first. You got first. So the auxiliary prize is trying to guess what are the top 5, and if you win the top 5, you get one of the top 5. It's a harder to get prize, so it's not meant to be easy to get, because it's just kind of fun. So I will say there is no winner to the shush. Yeah, there is no winner to the auxiliary prize. The best was 3 out of 5, though. The best was 3 out of 5. I did like to see the variety of guesses. There was one game that was persistent across all of you, which is hilarious. I couldn't tell if it's just because, did I just talk a ton about it? Or is it because, like, you all really think that I like that game a lot? I don't know. We shall see. But throughout the night, I will be giving out questions, trivia questions about just random shit throughout our streaming time, and just about us that we'll be talking about. And if you get whoever gets the most right, the questions will be put in our end of year tier list channel in our Discord. If you can get those all correct, one of these 59 games is yours. So if you really, for some reason, want fucking Pepsi Man on the PS1, we'll figure something out. Or if you want a copy of a free game of cheese rolling, it's all yours, baby. Or if you, for some reason, want a mod. A lot of these games are fucking free. I don't know why you would want a free game. All right. I'll just send you the link. All right. So, next to me is a Word document that does contain 5,000 or so words, because I tried to type up my thoughts as I went through a lot of these games, for majority of these games, as well as the order in which I will go through them, right? The top 5 worst and the top 5 best are saved for last. So I do have an order to how we do these, all right? Throughout the night, Wist, if you have, like, little things that you think I should be doing, like if you want me to wear a hat or do something silly, let me know, and we can do that. All right. Let's begin. The first game that I'm gonna talk about, if I can fucking find it, is Tower Networking Inc. Why me? Because you come up with creative ideas. What the fuck you mean, why you? Anyone can come up with an idea. You just let me know. You're just the one who comes up with fun ideas. You're the leader. You like to get everyone in on it. Tower Networking Inc. is this weird simulator roguelike game. You are president. Welcome, Lunar. Is weird roguelike simulator where you are this IT person who is managing this enterprise level IT network. And you're also, it's a roguelike where you're trying to manage your finances as part of being this like contracting IT company and trying to serve the amount of customers you can serve without failing them, but barely meeting their requirements. So basically it's modern IT infrastructure if you've ever been at like a business, right? That they barely cut the line, they barely make you happy, but they did their job, right? And your job is that. I did not play a ton of this game. I did not play... That fucking jump scared me. Alright, fuck my train of thought, I'll get you a cat. Here. She knows what she is. I'm expecting to be derailed so often. God, this is such a... Why is it so long? It's still going! Here, watch the animation again. It's still going!
Wistful Gremlin Lair wants you to show them a kitty cat.
Did you just save all the points? That is so fucking rude. Alright, I changed the fucking sound, you goddamn gremlins. God, can't have shit. Welcome, Great Finn. Okay. I'm already expecting this to be a 3 to 4 hour thing. God. So, Tower Networking Inc., you're basically playing as an IT man who is trying to manage your clients' happiness and try to keep as much money as possible. I didn't play a ton of hours of this game because it does get a little bit beyond that point of like where my knowledge is. So if you're very interested in becoming like that high-level IT guy, this probably speaks to you. It's kind of like, hey, I just got done working my job as a 9-to-5 forklift operator. Let me go play my game where I'm a forklift operator, you know? It's not by any stretch of the imagination a bad fucking game. It's just, I think, it's one of those things like, hey, at a certain level, its skill ceiling is beyond my understanding of IT knowledge. If that makes any kind of fucking sense, right? I think for those of you who really want to dig into it, it's not a bad game at all. So, I also do think I do like the voxel style graphics on it. The voxel style graphics and the music are really good. The tutorial sound, I think it just kind of blends everything together pretty fast. It's a good game. I do recommend it if you're interested in that kind of thing. Okay. Next is Halo 3 ODST. This game came out a long time ago, but I only just now played for the first time this year as part of our Halo 3 kind of playthrough, all of our Halo game playthrough. And mind that he can't monitor. Brother, I can. I am part of your Discord. What the fuck are you on about, dog? Schizo moment. God damn. Halo 3 ODST, I think, does a lot of things really cool. I did not go into it thinking it was going to be that kind of good. Like, I knew Halo 2 was great. I loved Halo 1. I really stand by Halo 3 being a masterpiece, as well as Halo 2. Halo 3 is this weird... It came out after 3, not before Reach, I believe. And it kind of is in this weird spot. But I actually ended up really enjoying it. The story was super enjoyable. The characters were really well written. I think where it kind of missed the mark was its environment, almost. It really does get that feeling of seclusion into you, but because of that, you can kind of bum rush your way to the end really, really fast. And I understand that they want you to pick up audio logs and fight the Covenant in kind of ambush-style stuff, but because of that, it kind of lacks a lot of things to do. For me, at least, I do like the story side of Halo games. Like, Infinite was fine because I think it can work in an open world style because it has enough content for the story. But I really think keeping it kind of that feeling to you where, hey, you are secluded from your squad, you are this, works in a tonal aspect, but not in a gameplay aspect, you know? But the story, the characters, and the gunplay are very good. I think this is a solid thing. If you have the Master Chief Collection, you already own this. Give it a shot. It's not as good as Halo 2. It's not as good as Halo 3. It is very good, though. I highly recommend it. Next is a little game called Dungeons and Degenerate Gamblers. I went through a lot of phases this year where if you look through these games that I have here, it's really hard to kind of tell, but you can kind of see like, oh, there's some like mystery slash ARG games, there's like point and click, there's some simulators, there's some fucking weirder ones. You can kind of see like there's kind of a weird line of thought process behind some of the games I was playing, right? And this kind of fell into the Balatro-esque mentality, where I played a lot of Balatro, I played a lot of Balatro mods, and then I was like, I need something new, I need something on my palette that's going to cleanse it, and so I can get back into Balatro. So I tried Dungeons and Degenerate Gamblers thinking, it's probably okay, right? I thought it's not going to be much better, it's not going to be anything new. I was very, very wrong. Dungeons and Degenerate Gamblers, I started off by playing the free demo they had on itch.io, and then I immediately got hooked and we had to play more. This game's a fucking awesome one. It's the same almost idea as Balatro, but it expands on it extremely heavily, where there's a lot more risk to reward. It adds more RPG-ass mechanics, and there's more... It's not just poker, there's other gambling aspects to it entirely. It really does make Balatro kind of the thing that walks so this could run. That being said, there are some mechanics I'm not a big fan of where Balatro is that you can kind of figure out your way from a bad hand. This is very RNG dependent. You will get screwed, and there's nothing you can do at points. I think if you are big into like Balatro's mindset, this is a no shit, try this. You will sink tons of hours into it. And because of that, it kind of was a sleeper hit for me. I think this was on my top 5 for a while. And I was kind of shocked by how what it is. I also want to put this out here. This year was fucking really good for gaming, in my opinion. Like, we had some extremely hard-hitting games that I said, there's no way this gets topped. And then I play a game, like, a month later, it's like, holy shit, this game's, like, amazing. How the fuck did I never hear about this game before? And then it just gets better and better and better. And granted, not all these games came out this year, but a lot of them did. And it was just kind of a fucking huge, like, baller fest for a lot of these. All right, next. Is this the one? No, this is not the one. Okay. Next is Castlevania Bloodlines. We did this as part of our Castlevania playthroughs. This is the Sega Genesis exclusive. This is one of the first ones, if not the only one so far, that I did not complete. That I only played like an hour and 15, hour 30 for, and I kind of stopped because it is brutal on its, hey, you run out of lives, it's over, you're done, you go back to the beginning of the game, and that's it. That being said, it's that kind of older style game is that level of brutality. The graphics is good, the Genesis chiptunes music is still like a big part of nostalgia for me. The gameplay is good, but it's worth mentioning this came, I believe, after Castlevania 4 on the Super Nintendo, which is a goddamn masterpiece. And then you also have Dracula X, Rondo of Blood that came, I think, after Bloodlines, which is really hard to argue. So Bloodlines kind of got this weird exclusion path where it's the forgotten one. And with all due respect, I think it's kind of deserved to be forgotten because you have things that are just around it that make it kind of look like crap. Not to mention, it is extremely fucking short. It is like an hour-long game. And I'm not saying that as someone who used save states and shit. It is a very short fucking game. Out of all the Castlevania games that I looked up to see, hey, how long is this going to take for me to beat on stream without save states, I think this is the one they straight up said, it takes 2 hours to beat. I would be fucking tight as hell if I was a kid renting this game and I beat it within, like, a night. I think, as it stands, like, I would probably go back and play it, but you'd be hard-pressed to see me, like, really want to get back into that one, right? All right. Let's drop our first trivia question in our Discord. I gotta pull it up. So once again, if you would like to vote in our trivia questions, make sure you are in the end of the year trivia list questions, or end of year tier lists channel. The first question is up in a second, and the first one is, how many quote-unquote series playthroughs have we done? Series meaning like we play through, I said, hey, we're doing the series, and that means we do the ones that I wanted to do, where it's multiple of them. And that also means ones that are currently in progress. So freebie is Castlevania, we're in progress, that counts, right? So your options are A, 3, B, 5, C, 4, or D, 1. Don't you fucking send the yap dog emoji. What the fuck is wrong with you? So the first question has been posted. Feel free to vote. You do not have to vote now. You can wait till the end. At the end of the stream, I will tally up. Whoever wins gets to pick their game. Alrighty. We will move on to the next question. If my fucking thing will let me. All right, the next one. I played this one really early in the year. Holy shit. Okay. Is Sifu. Sifu came out, oh god, I say a long time ago, but we have games like from the fucking Genesis on here, so I gotta be more careful with how I phrase that. Sifu came out, I want to say like 2018, 19, and I played this near the beginning of the year because I was looking for something. Is the series playthroughs this year total? Overall. Like, since we started streaming from the beginning. Sifu was a game I got into because I was looking for another game that had a kind of parry mechanic that Nine Souls had, along with, like, Liza P and shit like that, right? And a lot of people recommended, hey, if you're looking for something like that, Sifu is the way to go. And I also got told, hey, Sifu is fucking brutal with its mechanics. It is not an easy game. It is a brutal as fuck game, but it is worth it. I heard that it could be the longest game you've ever played in your life if you're bad. It also could be the shortest game ever if you're good. And me thinking I had a big swinger, thinking I just got done fucking beating the shit out of Nine Souls again, as well as just running Liza P's hands for like the third or second time, I was like, I got the shit in the bag, dog. And then I immediately played it and got my shit pushed in like crazy. Sifu has one of the most ridiculously small parry windows I have ever seen in my life. It is brutal how fucking small you have a chance to actually hit that shit in there, dog. And I mean, like, hey, I thought for a long time... Actually, let me make sure I don't have a note on here. No, I don't. I thought for a long time 9 Souls was like kind of brutal with how big their counter / parry window is. And then I eventually got the hang of it. I was like, okay, it's pretty good. Then I thought Liza P had a pretty brutal one. I was like, yeah, okay, it's kind of brutal. And I got good at that. And then originally I thought Bloodborne did. Not really. And then I was like, oh no, Sifu has the smallest parry window I have ever seen. Because there's like little frames where like you parried it, but you're still taking chip damage. You did a perfect parry, you don't take any chip damage, and you parry it and you do damage back. And then there's like you miss, you do a small parry, but you're taking majority of damage. There's fucking levels to their parry. And at the end of the day, their bosses go hard and they will punish the fuck out of you, right? The game's combat and everything about it is very, very deep. And it's insanely fun. I love the aging mechanic. I love the skill mechanic. It doesn't punish you in the sense of, hey, you died, you lose all your shit. You actually get a little bit of a bonus for dying at points where you do get some more skills, although your age does increase as you die. The idea being, as you die, you age like about 10 to 5 years. You age a certain increment amount. And so you start being slower, you start lacking a little power depending on your age, but you get more skills, you get a little more wisdom, you learn moves that might help you against the boss, right? Cool mechanic, but you lack a little bit more physical strength possibly. So it's a cool trade-off in some aspects. The art style I do like a lot. There are points where it looks kind of good, it looks kind of bad, and there's tons of points where it looks great. I like the overall aspect of it. I just can't, the thing that stuck out to me the most, I think, with it is just how absolute brutal the difficulty is. And I think for a lot of people, that's going to make them want to kind of walk away from it. I think as far as like one of those games where it's brutal, it's like difficult and I'm trying to get good at combat, it's really good, but I do not see myself really trying to get back into it, right? Next. Okay, this is the one everyone thought that like I was really in love with, right? Where is it? Well, there's that one. Okay. Castlevania Dracula X. So, for those of you who don't know, there is Dracula X and Rondo of Blood. Rondo of Blood was a Japanese exclusive version of Dracula X. Dracula X is the SNES one in comparison. I used to call them a port, and I never really thought of Rondo of Blood as anything different than the exclusive version, and Dracula X is the port. I actually now realize it is completely fucking different, where Rondo of Blood is almost separate game entirely with different mechanics and a different level structure, and Dracula X is really kind of the nerfed version of it. We did play this as part of our Castlevania series playthrough, and I walked away saying it is probably one of the hardest fucking Castlevanias out there because of its fucking final boss bullshit. It is incredibly difficult. And it's not just that, it does have somewhat similar shit to the Bloodlines where if you lose all your game overs, you're going back to the fucking title screen, you little baby. The final boss alone, I think, took our death count into the fucking stratosphere, and it's just unbelievably brutal. The game is, I would almost say, unplayable without having save states. And you also have to remember, it came after Castlevania 4. Castlevania 4, in my opinion, is a masterpiece. It did everything right, versus Dracula X kind of turned the fuck you knob to 10 and sent it forward. And what's wild is that Rondo of Blood, in my opinion, is so much of a better game. It's insane. The difficulty is a lot better matched. It has more technical feats, and the level structure is so much better than that of Dracula X. So I don't understand what the difference is between the two and why they decide to dumb it down for Americans. I really don't get it. I would say that if I had to give between the two, I would probably be more apt to go back to Dracula X because it is Richter Belmont. I liked Richter Belmont as a character better than the non-canon Bloodline characters. But overall, the game itself is a fine, right? It's not great. It's not bad. It's just, it is overly brutal. And I don't really think I'd ever play it without save states. Next, this one is a big one. I think a lot of people really, really like this one this year, and I'm not an exception. I've sank... How many hours did I sink in the... give me a second. I gotta see how many hours I sank in this one. I have room for a lot more. I don't think it's a ton. I only have 13 hours in, so I need a lot more. And that's Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders is an extraction shooter in a sci-fi, retro sci-fi-ish style of a future. that's made by the same guys who made the finals. Now, if you remember what I said about the finals, I thought it was a little mediocre. I thought it was lacking in a lot of stuff. I thought it was kind of surface level and it could be expanded upon a lot deeper. And ironically, they went into an extraction shooter, which they're a dime a dozen, and you can actually see we have quite a few extraction games on here. And what I was kind of surprised to hear was that Arc Raiders is getting quite a bit of, like, really overwhelmingly positive, like, press to it. And I was kind of like, that's fucking wild. I mean, I'm not shocked that it's doing good, but is it really that good? So I was like, all right, I'll hop on with my buds. It's a three-person game, and I'll hop in and we'll see. And it's really fucking good. Spoilers, it's pretty fucking fun. I don't know what the secret sauce is that makes it so fucking fun. Oh, cool. Thanks for subscribing, Wist.
Wistful Gremlin Lair just subscribed. What a chat.
Thanks for being a Chad. I don't know what... No ads for you, I guess. I guess that gets around the ads. You can also watch on YouTube. Don't be afraid to don't be afraid to watch on YouTube. I don't know what this... I think the secret sauce has to do with a lot of the community interactions you can have on here. You've probably seen the memes if you're involved in a lot of gaming, is that, like, if you're doing 2 people or you're going solo, the community is one of the nicest ones you'll ever meet. You'll talk with them. You'll talk with other players, being like, hey, what do you need? What do you need to find? I'll help you find something. You'll help extract. You'll help fight against the giant robots that are trying to fucking murder you. But I swear to God, you walk into any map with 3 players, and it's just an orangutan's fucking cage, man. They're gonna shoot you. They'll shit on you. They'll fucking stab you. And it's funny as fuck. One of the best memories I have of this game is we were in a map, and we got hit. There was I think it was a 3-man hit squad that was absolutely decked out in, like, fucking top tier gang shit, just playing Toxic by Britney Spears, running around. And at first we thought we were dead, right? Because we're running in with, like, the lowest tier kit stuff, and we thought we were fucking gonna die. And no, they just asked us if we wanted to be part of their team. I was like, fuck yeah, girl. And then we joined the Britney Spears Toxic train. It was awesome. And so a roaming 6 squad hitman team fucking just killed everyone else in there who didn't want to be part of the Britney Spears hype train. It was awesome. And I think that's the secret sauce behind it, is that the community was so fucking fun. And it still is. I know that a big push behind this is Burnt Peanut. And Burnt Peanuts, you love him or hate him, he did make the game super popular, and a lot of people are there playing because of him. And I do want to see more added to the game, for certain. I think some of the flaws I do have with Arc Raiders... Hello. One of the flaws I do have is obviously the usage of AI voice lines, and I see some of the excuses being that there's tons of voice lines that are varied. And my counter is that, hey, this studio, out of the 2 games I've seen them release, both use AI voice lines, so I don't think that's much of a defense. I think they're just using AI because it's cheap. I hate seeing that shit. It's not excusable in my opinion, because there's amateur VAs who will literally do this work for pennies on the dollar every time. They're not used in such a way where it's like, hey, they're front and center, like, for main characters, for actual playable characters. It's for, like, hey, something's over there. That thing's over there. Stuff like that, you know, inoffensive shit, but still not really excusable in my opinion, because God knows this was an infinite money glitch for them, right? I would like to see more weapons, maps, and I know they're rotating a lot of stuff. I'm also kind of wary about the cosmetic shop, because this isn't a free game. This is a you have to pay to play. So I'm a little wary about the cosmetic shop being in there versus the finals was free, and that made sense for why the cosmetics were there. So I'm keeping an eye on it. It's really fun. I do recommend playing it if you're interested in this type of game. I don't know what the sauce is that makes this extraction shooter better than others. I think it's the community. I think it's also just the interactions you can have. I think it's also that the robots that are your enemies are actually goddamn threats. That one encounter with a medium-sized robot can put your shit in the ditch real fast. Overall, I highly recommend this game. It's really, really fun. Definitely give it a shot. It's worth its price tag. And just make sure that if you're running 3s that you're about to get your shit pushed in by Britney Spears. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. Alright, what do we got next? Shadow Warrior. Where are you? Shadow Warrior. I got this. I think I got Shadow Warrior 1, 2. I think maybe 3 as well. It was part of like a $5 bundle way back in the spring or something. I don't remember. I got it pretty early in the year as part of like a bundle where they gave all 5 of the games away for free. And Shadow Warrior is it's kind of like a remake of an older style IP. And they kind of brought it into modern times, even though this one's like 2014-ish. And it definitely plays kind of sluggish. It's a lot of time it's just kind of clear the enemies, move on to the next segment, clear the enemies there, move on to the next segment. And that sounds kind of familiar, like Doom 2016. It's because it is, even though I believe, I'm pretty sure this came out before Doom 2016. And Doom 2016 still ups it because of the wow factor, versus this one is, the writing is good, the jokes kind of land where it's supposed to be over the top, funny, stupid, cheesy shit with like, he's saying all the cheesy 80 action movie lines and shit like that. I think where it really suffers, though, is definitely the combat, where shit just doesn't really work. It feels like it's kind of not working half the damn time. You'll run out of ammo sometimes a little too fast, and then you're just stuck meleeing a big tanky monster, which doesn't really show that you're doing much damage to it, if at all. And then eventually you kill it, and you're like, cool, I got 2 bullets. For reference, I did play on, I think, the second to hardest, either the hardest or the second to hardest difficulty. I don't remember. And I died not super often, but enough to be annoying. And even then, it's kind of like, would I go back? Probably not. It's definitely feeling the age that it is. It's not a bad game. It's definitely worth a playthrough, but it is a long game, too. It's not... I thought it'd be like a 2-hour playthrough and be done with it, but no, it is a pretty decently sized game, which isn't a complaint per se, but if you're hoping to just blaze right through it, it ain't happening. I'm scared. Put in the 6. Hello?
Hello.
Wait, what's up?
Nothing. Keep going, man.
I'm gonna get jumped.
Shut up, bitch! The goddess Sakate has revoked your speaking privileges.
Sorry about it. Face. You look so cute. Let me take that in. Jason, you look so cute. Cover your eyes. How do you feel? You feel bonita? You should feel bonita. So just wear that for like 1 minute, okay? You have to get through the next game with this on.
Do I tell him what this is for?
No, it's just a wig, dude.
Oh, yeah? Just a wig?
Yeah.
What's this one part of, Sarah?
It's cosplay, Jason.
I can see it. No, I might...
No, you have to wear
It itches! It itches!
Yeah, Jason, it itches.
Can I at least put my headphones on over it, or without ruining the wig?
No, I won't ruin it.
I won't, so if I, like, get the bangs out of my eyes with it... Like this. Oh, this is so fucking ass, dog.
You have to get through the game.
You look adorbs. Adorbs. Fuck you. Was that tactfully planned where you make me shut the fuck up and she attacks me with a wig? Fuck you and your Hitman squad. Alright, I think we can do another trivia question. Alright. How do girls do wigs if you all do wigs? How the fuck does this work? What? Alright, the question this time was, what was the longest stream this year? This one was a lot tougher for me to figure out because there were some long as shit one. No, it wasn't planned, just a happy coincidence. I don't buy that and you don't either. I don't think you buy that, and I certainly don't. Alright, so these are your options, and if you do some research, this one's pretty easy to answer if you want to get it correct, but if you're like me, this took a little bit longer than you think, so just answer with your heart. So your options are... option A is It Would Appear the Flood Want to Hug. That was our Halo 1. I think that was part 2 or 3. I don't remember. Time to Finish the Fight, which was definitely the end of Halo 3. I do not remember the runtime on any of these, by the way. I remember that a lot of these were in... I remember being like, God damn. I thought... Because I thought for sure it was my stream with Great Finn when we did Schedule 1. No, these dwarfed that shit. Or he got dwarfed by this. And then your fourth choice is Soy Boy Moraine versus Giga Chad Garl, which was Sea of Stars. So which one of these was the longest stream we did this year? What are you looking for, dog? She's looking at new ways to torture me. Alright. Next game. Alright, is... Pepsi Man for the PS1. So this is one of those games I just had an itch to play. I happened to have it kind of kicking around, and I said, you know what? I want to play Pepsi Man for the PS1. It's just kind of like what some people would call the Temple Runner for the PS1. And I remember where I first saw this was like Moist Critical's video back when I was in fucking like middle school or high school, and I thought it was the funniest fucking thing in the world. And then I went and fucking got the ROM and played it, and I was like, this game sucks. Now I went back and played it again this year and played it like pretty much all the way through, and I was like, this game actually isn't that bad. It's actually kind of fun. I'm kind of shocked by, like, for a brand tie-in game, it's not bad at all. It's actually really, really fun. Obviously, it's surface level. It's a Temple Run-esque type game, but the graphics are charming. The music is pretty much non-existent. It's inoffensive at worst. And overall, it's just kind of fun. There's plenty of obstacles to keep you going. It's supposed to be kind of a comedy-esque shit, where it's just, how does Pepsi Man keep getting into these scenarios? Type style stuff. I think it's fine. I think it's good. I think it's inoffensive. I think for what it is good. I think for it's aged really well. Honest to God, I think it's not bad at all. All right. You don't know me. You gave her this power. I do. I think this is her wig for being... She cosplayed 2B. So this is, I think, her 2B wig. Alright, next is Doom the Dark Ages. Doom the Dark Ages. Okay. This is one of the first ones I have notes on. And I think the best way I can sum this one up is that this is kind of just a downgrade from Eternal. And... I have to put a caveat here with it, is that I understand id Software's ambition is to iterate on each of the games and to not make another Doom Eternal. And I respect that. I really do. But damn, everything's a fucking downgrade, dog. Almost everything in here is a downgrade from the original of Eternal and almost 2016. I would say that the story is good. The new weapons are pretty fucking badass. And that it is willing to experiment. Like, that is also a big plus, is that it isn't willing to just, hey, we did the same thing, we're gonna do it again and put a new fucking package and ship it, right? Also, the level of accessibility they have in this game is really cool. If you want it to be faster, id Software allows you to be faster. They have things that let you turn up the pace of the game back to almost Eternal-like settings. You can turn up the damage of enemies. You can turn up the damage you do to enemies. It allows for an insane level of accessibility that almost anyone can get into Doom at its core, right? I like that idea that allows, like, even if Wiss wanted to play a game like this, she can now. However, I think for someone like me, who is really looking for that Doom Eternal successor, this is not it. It's not even close. When I think of Doom and Doom Eternal, like the modern Doom games, the first thing that stands out in my mind, besides the fucking fast as shit gameplay, is the music. And if you didn't know what happened to the composer of it, is that essentially he got... id Software did him really, really fucking dirty. And it's no shock that they went with... I don't know who they went with the music, but it is a very big downgrade. It's not great. It's just background music. It's almost comparable to what I have on here. It's not good. The levels are now an open field, open world-ish, because everything's got to be that way now, and they're not done in a good way. They're just
My
there.
mommy said no more skibidi toilet, so I left a poo-poo in her chocolate cake.
A skibidi riz your Ohio gag. Gotta do something that won't store your intelligence.
Skibidi toilet withdrawals. I'm going insane if I don't watch episode 99. I will annihilate mankind with an hydrogen bomb. Fortnite's legendary bush. Fortnite's legendary scar boogie bomb. Busting like Gaia's anime transformation.
Well,
I curled a pillow for 55
I have to do
reps,
something
and now
intelligent because I
I'm
got
exhausted waiting.
apparently I
You please get me one
brain
chum chum
rotted.
and one grimace shake. Aiden Ross, I'm your #1 fan. I want to be a Rizzler like you when I grow up. Can
Okay,
you
let's do the
please
daily
make me
Wordle,
your prodigy?
you dick.
Understand the quantum mechanics of Riz and the indecencies of the neurological
Is that what that
pathways of the
fucking
conscious
said?
nervous systems, justifying the moral dilemmas of man, the ultimate judgment of character.
This is
based
such a
on
long
four
sound alert.
The goddess Sakate has skibidi rizzed your Ohio yet. Go do something that will restore your intelligence.
All right. We gotta think of a fucking. Jesus Christ. Okay, vodka. Let's start with vodka. So there is an A. There is an A. We know there's an A. It's just somewhere in here. Where would it be? Where would it be? Where would it be? There's no O. There's no O. That's pretty good. That's a good one. Oh, look at that. Okay, so we know there's a T. There's only one T, though. But we know there's an A right there. It doesn't start with it. So what about... Ray... There's no E. Nope. We know there's a T, though. We know there's a T. Nope. There's no S. And there, it wouldn't be there because they got mad when we did that. Shit, I don't know words. You guys got an idea? Because I sure shit don't. Carts? Okay, I know we didn't have an S, but that's actually vital information, so screw you. It's not tacos. I got really excited for no reason. Fuck. What could it be? We know there's no T there. I gotta stop fucking falling for... I'm getting rage baited. Ratch? Oh, it's... Oh, is it Hatch? Fuck! It could be Match. Patch. Oh, I fucking threw. It could be Latch. Alright. Match? You think it's Match? Batch. You sold it. Alright, back to what we were doing. Thank you. My IQ is actually infinitely lower now. Where the fuck was I? Yeah, well. Connections time? Maybe next time. I do like the New York Times games. But each level is more of an open world-esque style, so you have to walk across the map to complete your objective now. And there's really nothing in between. I like how he's still doing I feel pretty. There's nothing in between, maybe a demon here and there, and there's no reason to do it that way. There's also, if you've heard anything about the game, you've probably heard about the dragon segment and the mech segment. And I agree, they're fucking boring. There's no way they played that, thought it was fun, and then shipped it. I don't think they did. Weapon styles is gone. Where Doom Eternal was about getting in everything's face and moving fast as shit to kill things, Eternal wants you to stand your ground and parry the fuck out of everything, which I don't personally like. I don't think fits Doom very well. It's also worth mentioning that this game follows the always fun trend of the 3 Dooms, like the original Doom, Doom 2, and Doom 3, where Doom 1 and 2, Doom 1 is notorious for running on fucking anything. Doom 2 runs pretty much on anything. And the modern trilogy, Doom 1 and 2, runs on anything. Doom 3 and Doom Dark Ages needs almost a fucking supercomputer to run. Like, even when I played, it barely functioned. It did crash. It would always ask for you to update your drivers, and it was known that if you did update your driver, it would actually perform worse. Granted, it has been several months since that occurred. I imagine they have fixed that issue, but that still does not excuse the fact that the game does require quite a beefy computer, so a lot of people just straight up cannot play Doom the Dark Ages when they've played the original first 2 Dooms. If I had to say anything, is that if you are itching for that eternal, like, feeling, go play Ultra Kill, or go play, I will name another game on here that really does itch that feeling, but this ain't it, Chief. And if you are just looking for another Doom game, this is fine. Wait for it to go on sale. It is not worth $70. All right. Next game. Oh, we get to get into the simulator types, because we got a lot of simulator types in this fucking shit, don't we? Next one is... Where are you? House Flipper. So if you don't know what I'm like, is that these really simple for no reason, like this game, like House Flipper, where is it? Give me a sec. Weed Shop 3, fucking, where is it? There's another simulator game in here, I feel it. No? I guess not. Not this year. But these type of simulator games, if they hit hard, I will play like 80 hours of. For no reason. Like, they could be the most trash games of them all, but I will put 80 hours into them because they are brainless and I like it. I like my brain going brrr for no reason, right? So House Flipper is one of those. I think I got for damn near free, if not free, off of like a bundle or an Epic game. Itchy, fuck it. I don't feel that pretty. And I played it for a good amount of time. Haha, get fucking ping diffed. So one of the things I did like about it is that there's a lot of different like activities to do. You can paint, you can repair drywall, you can fix the roof, you can fix the fucking flooring, you can decorate, you can do all kinds of things. One house to flip and redo will take about an hour or 2, depending on what you want to do. You get a lot of choices also of how you want to decorate something. You can be serious and try to decorate it to what you think you would want to decorate your own house to, or you can make it a giant shit throne. I did that a couple times and the fucking customers loved it. I literally got rid of all the walls and I put one toilet in the middle and I said, this is your throne, the shit throne, and they bought it for such a profit. There's also tons of different types of houses to flip, where you'll go to like a fucking, you start with this one suburban house. Cool. Then there's a fucking tree house you'll flip. There's a fucking bunker you'll flip. But there's also kind of a couple things I would say aren't super great, right? And that is that after probably the first 5 hours, you've seen everything the game has to offer without buying a fuckload of DLCs. There is no multiplayer in this version. You have to buy the second one, which is expensive as shit and apparently doesn't run super well. So after 5 hours, you've done everything. That's really it. And one of the things that's really hard to kind of excuse to this kind of game when you're trying to push shit is that, hey, if placing objects doesn't work super well, it kind of defeats the whole purpose. And this has that curse where it's like, hey, I'm trying to put this fucking chair here, and it'll just flip the fuck out and leave the goddamn stratosphere. Or like, hey, I'm trying to get this bed to be pushed against the wall, and it just won't work, right? And it's buggy to say the least. And there are requirements when you're flipping a house to appease the buyer, a possible buyer. If you like bought a house and you're flipping it to sell on the market, you also get jobs where it's like, hey, I want to renovate my basement. So you take a contract. However, sometimes their requirements are just there as an idea, right? So when I would flip a house, like I said, I literally took a whole house, I painted it brown and yellow stripes, I got rid of all the furniture, all the windows, all the rooms, and I just said, here's one toilet, it's in the middle, and that's it. I called it the shit house, and I made probably one of the biggest fucking profits I made in any goddamn house ever, because it was literally nothing, right? It's an average California fucking real estate market simulator. And when you're contracting where like they give you very kind of like, hey, I want this to be done, I want this to be done, there are literally perks you can get which lower what you need to do in order to meet said goals. and thus you don't have to do what they want. You can just fucking screw off. And it's kind of weird because you're kind of cutting the game short in order to have less fun. I don't know. Overall, I sank a lot of hours into it as a mindless experience. I don't see myself really ever picking it back up. And it was during a slow period where I was between games. So if you want a mindless Brango Burr game, pick this up. But if you're looking for, like, I want to get into interior design or architecture, this ain't it, chief. Alright, next is Arena Breakout Infinite. Arena Breakout Infinite is a free-to-play extraction shooter. It is a direct competitor to Tarkov. If you didn't know, Escape from Tarkov came to Steam this year, and is one of the games I played a lot of back in the day, and I vehemently hate with all my passion. You can tell that's how I played quite a bit of it, is I actually fucking hate Tarkov. And this is a competitor. It is free, and goddamn, it is very good. It runs amazingly well. It is fun as shit to play. It has the realistic combat and the realistic goals that you expect from a game like it. It is very easy to hop in and play. They do not have a ridiculous timer to play the best mode, which is you get a random loadout as a scav or whatever they call it, and they send you out there. There's a cooldown. I think it's like 20 to 30 minutes, but then that's it versus... Sometimes Tarkov says you don't get it for a day. You don't get it for fucking 2 days. You're a lucky buster that I give you whatever. Now, because it is free to play, you sometimes don't get really many people around, or you'll run into the occasional cheater here and there, but at least they're trying to do something about it versus in Tarkov. They're not doing diddly shit about them. They hate you more than anyone else out there. I think if you're looking for an extraction shooter type game and you don't want to drop the money on art graders and you don't want to buy, and you're looking at Tarkov like, damn, my computer can't run that. Spoiler alert, mine can't either. This is a great alternative. I highly recommend you check it out. It is a solid successor, and I think it does everything that Tarkov wishes it could be. And I really hope that the developer of Tarkov is quaking in his boots, because this free-to-play is coming to eat his lunch. Next. This is a game I thought for sure was going to win my game of the year for so long, but everything else just kind of beat the shit out of it, and that is Straftat. Straftat is a free-to-play, Quake-like shooter, and goddamn is this game fucking amazing. I'm still playing this constantly to the game. The soundtrack is baller. It's a Gare Fugara Arrow, which is basically 2004, 2007 Windows XP7 style fucking soundtrack. If you don't know what that is, look it up. I promise you'll immediately recognize it. If you were born in the year late to mid 90s, you'll understand right away what type of music I'm talking about. It is fucking free, and if you pay, I think it's like $5, you get cosmetics and more maps. I, of course, paid $5 because I played it for 30 minutes. Like, this shit fucking rocks, and I kept playing. It has tons of weapons. Hello, stink bug. It has a ton of weapons, it has a ton of maps, and there's tons of character models to kind of go around and play with. But the main idea is simple: you are playing rounds of trying to kill your friends and kill your enemies with just simple FPS nonsense. Each weapon has its own mechanics. It is fun on a bun and insane. And it's not just, here, you're in an arena, shoot each other. Sometimes you're in a skee ball thing and you get skee balls you have to kill each other with. It is super fun and creative, and it kind of outshines. I think this I came on my radar when like Black Ops 7 was still out, and it was kind of impressive how a free-to-play game did that better than anything else. This was, I believe, in the top 3 for a long time, and then it got knocked out by everything else that kind of replaced it. But I'm telling you guys, do not sleep on Straftat. It is fun as fuck. It is a great party game. It is fucking free. You cannot beat free. Speaking of games that are damn near in the fucking top 5, Echo Point Nova was my #1 game until we got, like, the rest of the games came out. It was at the #1 spot for so long. You remember how I said if you're looking for a Doom-like that it matches Eternal but is not there? This is it. This is Echo Point Nova. And the way I wrote it in my notes was as simple. Imagine if Tony Hawk's Pro Skater had guns and a grappling hook, infinite momentum, and was like Ultra Kill but more stylized. That's Echo Point Nova. You are on a skateboard, shooting shit, doing cool as fuck tricks, doing slow-mo, and you can cheat physics. Some of you, that sounds like a fucking migraine waiting to happen, and to others, that sounds like the coolest fucking thing you have ever seen in your goddamn life. I am part of Group B. Migraine? Yes. I have been told that it is a nightmare to watch. Well, let's see. I gotta gush a little bit. So this game's whole thing is getting as much speed as possible, doing the coolest tricks in the air, and then fucking destroying everything in your path. There are many islands that you will approach that have different enemy layouts in which the goal is clear the enemies, clear the objective, and then get yourself a reward, whether that's a new weapon, an upgrade point, or in some cases, just a fucking funny hat. But the idea is to take out as many enemies as possible in kind of a Zelda Breath of the Wild shrine-esque style where you don't need to do it, but it's fun to do anyways, right? You can also just fucking ramp across the map if you get enough momentum as possible. The music ranges from like hi-fi style to synthwave funk while you decimate hordes of enemies, and they actually give you a playlist to go through. It is really relaxing as well as pump as fuck to hear this, and I still do listen to the music on pretty frequent occasion when I'm working out as a way to pump myself up. The color palettes, although some people will disagree, do match the game's aesthetic where it's very air-like, it's very free, it's very light, it's very colorful. It's not dark, it's not grainy. It does make you feel like you're just free to do whatever you fucking want, right? There's tons of enemies out there too. There's giant mechs that will fuck your shit up if you're not careful. There are helicopters that require you to parkour through the air off of nothing to kill. There are your typical soldiers. There are your riot shield soldiers that will rush you. There are ones that kind of try to mimic the same type of shit you do. There are snipers you have to be careful with. It is really cool how much there is into this game. There's also tons of different weapon variety. You have your standard, like, weapon wheel. Like, you have your sniper, your fucking automatic gun, you have your pistol, you have your shotgun, but then you have multiple variants of each one. Where Doom, the Dark Ages, got rid of a lot of that shit. Echo Point Nova said, fuck it, we have so many. And some of it's like, it's a different weapon. Like, yeah, you have a P320, or you have the fucking coolest shit USP 45, right? And it's a damage modifier, but it's mainly just as cool as it fucking looks. Also, camos. Fuck it, why not? Right? Now, I played this before it released its biggest fuck update, which it got onto the Steam front page for. I don't think it was in early access when I played it. I think it was about to finish up, and I believe it has multiplayer even now. But back when I played, the story was pretty rough. It's not existent, and from what I understood, that wasn't a key point. They didn't really care for a story. They wanted to just give you something, connect the dots. I think if they added a story and gave it a little bit more meat to its bones and try, that this is a flawless game in every aspect of its possibility. It is the pinnacle of its unique genre. And it really could be a Neon White in the making, right? And where it is fully rounded in everything it does, right? It is unique, and I see other types of games trying to mimic it, right? And I also do think for a lot of people, this combination where it's super fast motion as well as just trying to hit really small targets, you're not going to be a fucking fan. I think that is true. I think a lot of people are not going to be a fan of that, and that's fine. But for those of you who crave violence and crave speed, this is it, dog. This is as good as, it gets for a lot of us. All right. I gotta piss, and then we'll be right back. We are at 15 out of fucking 59. I gotta fucking hurry. Burbs. Give me 1 second. Guys, I got fucking mugged on the way to the bathroom. I Whist fucking mugged me. Do you think this is how she tells me that we're getting divorced? She gave me this shirt and took my shirt. Is this how I get told I'm getting a divorce? Is it because I took off the wig? Because I'm not 2B or 9S. I don't have a 9S build, dog. Alright. Next game. Really gotta fucking speed some of these up, huh? Grime. Where are you? Where are you, Grimy? Grimy. Grime. Grime is this, like... It is a Metroidvania that I would say kind of fails to make the mark as far as its combat. It's a heavy hit. Bring back 2B. It's 9S on me, dog. 2B would be you. Put on the full costume. We got a deal. Grime is kind of a heavy-hitting style Metroidvania where I kind of would compare it more to Blasphemous than anything, where Blasphemous had a really unique art style and thematic thing where it's very Gothic, Roman Catholic style. Grime kind of, to me, didn't really hit that niche where it should hit. I played this on the Steam Deck mainly, and its performance was great. I just had some trouble trying to figure out its combat, and its exploration was kind of weaker for me. I think that overall, I wasn't super well impressed with it. I would like to give it another chance, and I imagine I will go back. I think some of the things it did do great, though, is the design, which really did keep me interested. And when I started getting the pairing of the... Did you just post a GIF in the fucking chat? You can't do that because you will get flagged on Twitch, dog. You will actually get flagged for posting that in Twitch. Be careful. Jesus Christ. But once I started getting the pairing down, it became a little bit easier to understand kind of how the combat is. It is a heavy-hitting game. Now, you can move to a faster build, and it does allow you to play with the faster stuff. But I'm big meaty, man. I like hitting hard and fucking beating the shit out of something with a big meat stick, right? And it does allow you to do that, but I think the way to appreciate the game more is playing as kind of a dodge parry god that it wants you to play as. I think the story is kind of out there, and it's a little bit hard to understand, kind of similar to Blasphemous, where I'm waiting for some Vati Vidya to take up the expertise and tell me what the fuck am I learning, right? I imagine that one day I will go back and complete it. It's good, but I do think that there are stronger contenders for the slot that it kind of hit into. Next is the fucking child of the Nintendo Switch 2, right? There's only 2 games on here from Nintendo Switch 2 in it. Are you Mario Kart World? So this year, I did end up buying a Nintendo Switch 2 because Donkey Kong Bonanza got fucking announced. And to me, that is a must-buy. Because it's made by the same guys who made fucking Mario Odyssey, and we played Mario Odyssey this year. You know that it's my favorite game of all time. But I also very rarely ever say, hey, I'm going to buy a console just for one game. So I got Mario Kart World thinking, hey, you know what? I really like Mario Kart 8. I imagine Mario Kart World I really like. So I got it. And I did like it. I liked it quite a bit. The attention to detail in the overworld and the tracks is fucking amazing. There are so many details that you have to slow down and kind of take a look at and be like, oh, I get that. I saw that. And also just little things there that like, oh, that's level detail I never really got. Like in the Donkey Kong conveyor belt level where there's actually like there's a mechanized Donkey Kong throwing barrels at you. They actually have conveyor belts that work correctly. They're not just fucking there for the sake of being there. They actually have them mechanically oriented correctly. And some of the modes where you're moving from track to track, you can actually drive / get to witness the transition between the tracks. And that is part of your course that as you race from. That's fucking cool. I like seeing that. One of my notes on here is also just cow, because you get to play as the cow. Take that as you will. I was also kind of really worried originally when they said, hey, it's a big-ass open world that we're going to Breath of the Wild this, which a lot of Nintendo games clearly this year did do, where they like, hey, we're made it an open world, and it kind of made everything way worse. See Metroid Prime 4. But it actually ended up being kind of sequestered away and more of a side thing, rather than that's the main focus. Is an open world. It's more of a give the controller to the CPUs are a little rude, dude. So, oh yeah, no, don't worry, I'll talk about them, dog. The open world's more sequestered. Like, hey, if you want someone to just explore and have fun, there is little fun little modes. Like, there's little challenges you can do in the overworld. It also allows you to learn the tracks and learn the little transitions between them and unlock costumes in between. It's a nice little mode that is just that, a side mode compared to the racing mode that is there, right? I do like, speaking of which, the costumes and the stamps are really cool. I like the challenges that they have in there. They're fun to do. Some of them are more fun than others, but there's a ton, so keep it up. I do like the costumes a lot. There are so many costumes that I do actually go on my way to win them. I wish there were more costumes for certain characters. Donkey Kong only having like 2 costumes is fucking crazy, where Rosalina has like 12 million. I know that they like Rosalina. I get it that they are simping, but please give me more Donkey Kong. I also do like the new mechanics that they have in here. They could have just easily taken the same mechanics they had from Mario Kart 8, polished them up, and throw them back in, but instead they do have new mechanics. Like, hey, you can now wall ride into shit, jump on shit, and then fucking... There's so many new mechanics that can do that to change the game entirely, that allow you to get as far as to fucking evade items entirely, right? I think that's really cool that they do change the entire idea of competitive Mario Kart between you and your friends. Now, that being said, I do have quite a few negatives against this game and negatives towards Nintendo overall about this. And that is that the amount of content that this game doesn't have that Mario Kart 8 has is insane. For instance, Battle Mode is just like 2 game types. Balloons and fucking coins, I am pretty sure. That's it. In 8, you had like cops and robbers and shit. You had so many better fucking things to do. And in this one, the maps are fucking huge. They're not really small and like intimate, so you don't get to fight the fuck out of each other. You have to go across the fucking map to kill each other. It is insane how little there is for battle mode, and I really do like battle mode, dog. I also do think that, hey, once you complete the cups, you do unlock a new cup, but there's not a ton to go for, and I directly know why that is. It's because they want to sell more DLC, right? And to those of you who have Mario Kart 8, you know that there's a fucking pass associated with that, but there was a ton of tracks before 8, and people say, oh, well, 8's a deluxe edition. Of course there is. Yes, but they also released it as a fucking launch, versus World was supposed to be this... What was it, 80 to 90 fucking clams, right? Are you fucking kidding me? It better have a fuckload more content then, and it doesn't. It is missing so much content that I heavily disagree with its price tag. It is way too much for how much it is, and it's never going to go on sale for lower than what it is. I think as a game, solid game. Very fun, like it. Do I like it more than 8? Fuck no, I don't. I think that Nintendo did cook in the gameplay aspect, but their price tag is insane, right? It is a good game. It should be here. It is not. I think if you're asking for a price tag, it'd be down here, dog. It is insane. All right. CPUs are a little rude. Oh, yeah. So, I always had a conspiracy that the CPUs would, like, teleport to you if you're doing too well. In this game, they actually do rubber band up to you if you are doing too well. I swear to God, a sleeper just flew at me. Like, I have seen them, personally witness them, like, rubber band up to me and whist. I did. Fucking little bastard. One second. Don't look, Twitch. Okay. I've seen them rubber band up to you, and they straight up just fucking cheat in this one. It is insane. All right, next is Actually, I gotta post a question, don't I? Yes, I do. Alrighty. This one's a toughie. All right. How many streams this year? How many streams did we do this year? And that means completed. Obviously, we had a lot scheduled that we ended up getting rid of because of life being life. But these are the ones we ended up actually doing. I was very shocked at this number. And I also was like, yeah, that's probably not happening next year. So, did we do 68 streams, 57 streams, 63 streams, or 70 streams? Because when I originally did the calc, it said like 18. I was like, I think we did a little more. And then I saw the actual number. I was like, oh, that's a lot. We did a lot of streams. I need to chill the fuck out. Alrighty. Number 17. I'm very happy to talk about this one because I think this one's actually a goated pick. The Paynes Creek Killings. So the Paynes Creek Killings, it was the start of like my ARG/mystery binge that I did. I don't remember what got me fixated on this one. I think it read this quote, "A day without sunshine is like night" by Steve Martin. Steve Martin's a genius. But I remember looking at it, it reminded me of a lot of like those old point and click mystery games like I Spy and shit like that, and it got me really interested in it. And I don't remember what happened, but I bought the game and I did not stop playing it until I beat it, and I was up to like 3 or 4 really late in the morning, early in the morning, continuously playing this game. This is an amazing point and click mystery game that will keep you on your toes, right? It will keep you playing, and it's really fun. I don't want to talk much about the story. I don't want to talk about many of the puzzles. All right, for the next game, we dare you to draw us a picture while talking about it. Okay. Easy. All right. Okay. But Paynes Creek Killing, I think, like Courtney, I think you'd be super interested in this one. I have actually gifted it to like my sister who's really into mystery games. This is a really good mystery game that will keep you guessing because it knows what you're thinking right off the bat and will subvert your expectation almost immediately and keep you moving. If I had to say a couple of complaints is that it keeps you on edge. Like there's a weird uncanniness to it. Like will they, won't they horror aspect to it. And it's not meant to be that way. There are some like loud-ish jump scares, but they're done very sparingly. And the end segment's a little weak, but overall, solid as hell game. I was really shocked that this one kind of went under the radar. But I'm also very, very new to the whole mystery game scene, and from what I understand, this one was a solid, and a lot of people said the kind of the same thing I did, which was, hey, this one's solid. I can't believe it went under the radar for so long. And yeah, 100% play this game. All right. Next one, I have to draw a picture of this one. So the problem is, if I try to draw a picture, it like kind of doesn't work, right? Like we try to draw a picture, and for some reason it just doesn't work, right? Let me see. Here we go. Can you guys see this? This is an old school paint. Holy goddamn, dog. So the next one is Schedule 1. Schedule 1 is a drug dealing simulator. And don't look at me, you wanted this. Schedule 1 is a drug dealing simulator where you give a town drugs. You grow and make drugs, and you give drugs to people who absolutely love whatever you're fucking selling. I put so many fucking hours into this because it was one of those brainless simulator type games, right? So here is me fucking giving a bag of schmack. I lost my husband to this game. I lost my husband to this game. Well, they just released the Shroom update, so guess what? You're about to lose him again. This is me. Give me a second. I gotta draw my schmack in here. Some of that cranky shanky in here, right? Oh well, nice to have him back even for a little bit. Yeah, true. Speaking of which, Great Finn, because they released the update, we gotta run another fucking 5-hour stream on this shit. I get line of hair. That's an eyebrow, dog. I'm working on the other guy. Give me a bit. There you go. He's getting a beard. And he's got to get, like, bloodshot eyes because he's on schmack. And I got to give myself a happy little smile. That's an evil little smile. He's happy because he's getting drugs. So the idea behind... it's a goofy little game that just allows for multiple drug routes. You can get fucking... You can make weed. You can fucking make meth. I think you can do coke. And now you can do shrooms. Little mini games while producing are fun. They're time consuming. They allow for a little bit of fun. I like the character customization, which you can get for more when you just keep getting more and more shit. The combinations you can discover for the shit, where like I had one that made them shit themselves so violently they went into a seizure, and then after a little bit they would explode. I love that kind of stuff where it's just goofy little shit. The gameplay loop is very addicting, no pun intended. Where like you would run the town and you make up your own lore, like, hey, my schmack is so good the cartel wants this shit. There's also lots of really cool glitches in movement tech, like you can get onto a bus bench and you just keep pressing and then you get rocket launched up into the air. I really hope that they don't ever get patched out. And then the dev is also very communicative about how he's developing the game and the roadmap and what he wants to do, and he also lets the community vote on what's coming next. It's been a minute since I played. I know there's been quite a few updates since then. Like, I haven't played, obviously, since the Mushroom update. I haven't played since the Cartel update. But I know that some of these things are kind of on the horizon, which is that the cop AI is pretty fucking rough. There comes a point where you could just beat the shit out of them and you run that town like crazy. And overall, there are points where the game is significantly buggy. It is in early access. It's not all the way out yet, which means that when it is fully released, I will be back reviewing it at its full release. But as it stands right now, it is an amazing fucking time sink, and it is very, very addicting to play. It is funny as shit to just come up with drug combinations and see what you can get. I highly recommend it if you're into this kind of thing, or you just want something funny, you know. It's a good use of your time. Also, for a solo dev, holy shit, he's rolling in that dough. I don't know if it's his favorite great friend. He gets more super obsessed with a game then moves to the next one. Must be. It seems like his big obsession right now is Factorio. And for reference, Factorio, I have 265 hours in Factorio. Yeah, Factory Must Grow, exactly. I have 265 hours in Factorio, and I need to go back and play again. I'm surprised it took him this long to get into Factorio. Alright, next is Guilty as Sock. This is what some people would describe as a friend slap game, which I think is doing it so fucking dirty. New game of the month, hell yeah it is. Guilty as Sock is what happens if you get a bunch of your friends together inside of a courtroom and argue the most stupid ass shit as a court case as possible. And it's hilariously fun. So for instance, I got my friends together and we argued that one of them is responsible for... Fucking what was it? I think one of them was responsible for, like, creating a second 9/11 or some shit. And it devolved into a completely separate argument that immediately just got off the rails way too fast. And so there's a prosecuting attorney, there is the person who stands accused, there's the prosecutor, there's the defense, there's the judge, there's the witness, and then there's the court reporter. None of your friends will ever be the criminal. The criminal is someone else, is an NPC of a photo you get to upload yourself, right? And so obviously the prosecutor is the person you're trying to convict the criminal. The defendant, you're trying to keep him out of the prison. The judge, you're hearing the cases and you get to make the rules. The professional witness, you get to be for the defense and against the defense, so that's fun. You get to flip sides on both sides. And then I think the most underrated position is the court reporter, where you get to make headlines and draw pictures of what's occurring in the courtroom, and/or add twists to the plot. So for instance, The whole reason our court case went off the rail was because our court reporter kept adding new plot twists. So, for instance, we were arguing about the second 9/11, and then suddenly our court reporter said, break in the case, the defense attorney is actually a little bitch. And then we argued that they are a little bitch. And the judge was like, what the fuck is going on? It is such a fun little game, which has so many avenues. It's like one of those Friday night specials almost. It's a good rotation game to add if you do a lot of, like, Jackbox games. I do see it being one of those games, though, that you'll eventually get kind of sick of, and it does have a decently steep price tag. As it stands, though, it is kind of fun. I think it's definitely a party game worth, if you can get, like, the hype going and you can argue and just let yourself go and have the freedom to just have a good time with it, it's definitely worth your time, right? All right. Next one. Due process. Yes, sir. So, if you don't know, I'm a big fan of, like, CSGO, Rainbow Six type games. I think that style of game you don't see a lot, or at least Rainbow Six. You don't see a lot of games that have the same gameplay loop as Rainbow Six that's not done by Ubisoft, because Ubisoft is a fucking tyrant. And Due Process kind of just, I don't remember how I got introduced to it, but it just kind of came up on my radar. And it is fucking hilarious. It is what happens if you took a Rainbow Six and you had a baby with CSGO, and then somehow you put Valorant in there and had another baby. It sounds like it should be a fucking nightmare, but it actually comes out to be the star child of the three, right? The art style is amazing. It's voxel, but a lot more pixelated. And it's a easy enough game that most players can just immediately pick up and like, oh, I get what we're trying to do. We're trying to fuck each other up. But it also allows for those who really want to get deep into the learning curve of how the game's movement tech and guns work, that you can become a professional sweat at it. There is a great rotation of maps where you are going to be attacking and defending. You're going to be on new maps here and there. It is going to give you a lot of playtime, and there's also tons of customization. Like, hey, do you not want to fucking be a SWAT officer? You want to be in a duck costume? Fuck it. Fuck your tactical ability. Fuck it. Wear a top hat. I think some of the issues I do have with it on the more gameplay side of the thing is that damage seems a bit inconsistent with the weapons. Like, you might pick up the carbine and it does absolutely fucking nothing, but then you might pick up a pistol that just one-shots at fucking everything. It is insane. And now, I do think that some of that's meant to be that way, where it's supposed to be more of a gag thing based on the game. It's supposed to be making fun of it versus it's meant to be a super serious game, which makes sense given its kind of role and its price tag. But I think it's worth a pick. I think it's usually on sale for like 99 cents. I do recommend just picking it up at some point and giving it a try. It's cheap, it's fun, it's a good party game. And it does have a very committed community behind it as well. All right. Is it time for another question? How many have I posted in the Discord? 3? Yes, okay, it is time for a new one. I had to count. All right. Uh-oh. The Great Finn, are you not voting in our polls, you naughty, naughty boy? Someone doesn't want to get a free game. All right, new poll in the Discord. Who was the best soldier in our Halo playthrough? There was one guy who stood above them all. Was it Frederick? Was it Frank? Was it William? Or was it Bob? Which one was the man amongst men who stood at the top of the pinnacle of men? The men of men, you know? 2.5 men. But he was like 3.5 men. Alright. Next is Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse, the final of the 3 NES games. This is the first time I have ever completed it. And if you remember what I said, is that I actually was surprised. I remember hearing the AVGN say it was kind of a bad game. And as someone did point out, we did use save states in it. So it made it a lot more bearable, and it is a very difficult game otherwise. But what I was shocked was at the level of replayability that it did have with it. I think trying to play it without those save states is insanely hard to do so. But what I was more impressed with the technological advance that it did from 1 to 3 was insane. There's tons of different routes, there's tons of different ways to play, and there's tons of different ways to approach a boss, let alone a path. It also has a complex story. The game looks good and sounds amazing for an NES title, and it really does show how well the NES did age over its pretty long lifespan. I think if you're going to play this, I recommend emulating it with a ROM and just doing the shit out of save states and trying your best to, like, not rage quit. But it is kind of like, hey, if this was the final of the 3 you got before you got the Castlevania 4, this is a good send-off point, right? All right. Next game. An MMO. Where are you? Blue Star... What are you called? Star Protocol... God, Blue Protocol Star Resonance. A free-to-play MMO that didn't have gacha, but probably will by the time I'm talking about it. So this was an anime MMO that Wish was super interested in, and I said I would try it out with her. I did not play a ton of this, because at the end of the day, it just reminded me a lot of Final Fantasy XIV, and the thing that stuck out, I think, the most to me about it was that you have this kind of generic-ish art style with a pretty interesting story, but god damn it, could you please animate your characters? They would go into a still frame, like they hit a pose, they wouldn't even animate them talking. And from what I understand is that the in-game dungeon runs are not super interesting and that the loot is extremely low drops. And the speculation was, back in the day, was that the idea behind it is they imagine that eventually when they do introduce more gacha elements, that's where the gacha elements will come in, is that you have to roll for like a ticket or something to get the high-end weapons. Now, granted, it has been a minute since I played this. I don't know how much content has been added. But I think if you are interested in an MMO type game, give Final Fantasy XIV a try. There's a ton of content. It is a very good game. If you're interested in any kind of gacha anime stuff, go look at the smattering that Hoyoverse put out there. My personal pick is definitely going to be fucking Sinless Zone Zero. If you're interested in anything like this, there's tons of different games out there. I appreciate that an MMO did come out in this day and age. I do like me some MMOs. I just don't think that this is the one I would recommend towards people. It's in a fine state. This is someone out there's favorite game of the year, and that's fine. I just think it was kind of lazily rushed, you know? Next. Oh, the big sweetheart of the year for Whist & Co. Hope you girls are listening. We got Repo, baby. We got fucking Repo. I have a ton of notes on Repo. Holy fucking shit. Alright. Do I even need to explain Repo? Yeah, Repo. Yep, that's... You said exactly what I said, Repo. It's Repo. Yep, Repo. Yep, Repo. You guys want to say it again? I don't even know if I have to explain what repo is, because all of you guys in chat know very much what repo is and are very familiar what repo is. You know? It is repo. So I'll go through. I love repo. I really do like repo. I didn't go into it thinking it would be great, because I really did come off of Lethal Company, loving Lethal Company. But repo is the upgrade to Lethal Company that we've been waiting for a minute, because so many games came out trying to emulate Lethal Company that just failed to miss the mark by a fucking huge amount. Repo came out and said, fuck you, this is how you do it. We're sillier, we're goofier, we have mod support. Fuck you. It's great. Right. In my notes, they're pretty far outdated because I was waiting for more mods to come out, because I do want, and yet you never play it with us. Correct, it has been a minute since I played. I wanted to wait to see how the mod game came out, and the mods are still coming out, and they're still coming, and they're still coming. I do not get to the same level you guys do. I will say that. The fact that there is a level 10 is insane, and I don't think the game dev really intended for you guys to get to that level. I stand by that. I think I really am curious to see you guys try Lethal Company and see if like it's a downgrade in your guys' opinion. I like Lethal Company a lot, but Repo is by far and away like an upgrade in my opinion. Yeah, I have multiple saves that are 9 and 10. What's the highest you guys have gotten on Repo? $12, I think. That's insane. I also see... Yeah, too scared to go forward on those. Fair enough. It also is really cool that the dev is very communicative on his development on the updates and what he's trying to do and the envision that he has for Repo. It's really cool to see that, and where like Lethal Company, you didn't see that very often. Where like he would sometimes say, "Here's what I'm doing," blah 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 blah, and it'd be like radio silence for a little while. For his Repo, it seems like he's talking about what he plans on doing almost every week or two, and he puts out these full fucking videos and shit. Yeah, Repo dev is insane. He does a great job, and I'm very happy to see that this game took off when like every other Lethal Company like type game just failed miserably because everyone kept comparing it to Lethal Company versus this is what I would call a true successor to it, right? So rather than read like the fucking 4 paragraphs I have of notes of Repo gushing over it, it's very good. You all have it. If you played Lethal, play Repo, you won't be disappointed. I just wish there was more interaction you could have with... it's the same shit I said in Lethal, that once you're dead, there's not a ton of interaction you can have. I wish there was some more stuff to do, but it's nitpicky shit, right? Next. Speaking of games I have not played in a hot minute, Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals is pretty much a Marvel-branded Overwatch, which is not a bad thing at all. If I played quite a bit of Overwatch back in the day, and base Overwatch was a very good game. I liked it quite a bit, and I put a ton of hours into it. And when I was playing, I played, I think, up to when the Fantastic Four were added. It was, everyone was kind of overpowered, which was really, really fun, because everyone also had a counter to how overpowered they were. Granted, if you were ranked as you climb, people would make these fucking 2-hour essay videos about why this hero is the strongest hero of them all. But they were shit posting. At the least, they thought they were being serious. And so it's definitely evolved the community over time since I've played it. And I do think, like, hey, I do like some of the styles they present the heroes, like Thor being this, like, different style than he is in the MCU, because they really could have just done it the cheap way and just said all of them look like the MCU counterpart, but they also, instead they say, hey, these are the, like, comic book variants of them that we have at the moment, which is really, really cool. However, what I do think is that I think that I'm curious to see if they keep the content updates as fast as they are, because when I played versus when it came out to Fantastic Four, it took a fat minute for that to come out, so it got very stale pretty fast. I know they've fixed quite a bit of optimization, which is good to see. I'm curious to see the esports scene coming around about it. The cosmetics are still insanely fucking expensive, which is sad to say, but it is free to play, so you're going to see that. And it sounds like right now the development team is pretty on the nose about what they did. I did see that, however, they pretty much all got let go, because of course they did. That's how development works with these gigantic studios. It's good. It's a free-to-play hero shooter, you know. Go give it a shot if you like Overwatch and you wish Overwatch was good again. This is your free-to-play alternative. If you like Marvel, it's good, you know. I'm personally going to be watching for the esports scene, because I think it's always fun gameplay, and some of the people who I know are good at this game are absolute fucking titans at it. All right, next is another ARG type game, and that is The Operator. Which one was the other one? Because we have the Black Watchman and the Operator. These were like the same kind of in the same vein as the Payne's Creek Killings, where it's like a puzzle / ARG type, because I love these type of games. It's just that they have some problems, which I'll get into, right? The Operator it's kind of like, hey, you're looking for clues inside these documents. Kind of similar to what we saw in Dead Letter Department. Look for clues and try to solve these QTEs and puzzles and shit, right? And overall, the plot is... It's really hard to talk about games where the plot is the main focus if I don't want to spoil shit. And because one of you is going to get a game like this, it's really hard to talk about it where the plot's the focus. The plot is very good. for a like cheap as shit ARG, I was very shocked how good the operator's plot was, considering like it is a very short game. But the plot is intriguing for what it is. It does have multiple endings, and there's multiple ways to approach the ending. And the soundtrack for an ARG is actually really bumping. It's very suspenseful. It's very cool. I think if you like puzzle games and ARGs, this is a really good one. I think as far as it goes as the genre, it doesn't push really anything. I think it's a solid entry. I got it for free on Epic, so I wouldn't spend more than $5, but overall, solid. Hi, it's an Akiwa. What's he up to? Smells like Black and Milds. Where was he sleeping? Look at that handsome fella. I'm too loud for him, probably. He's so sleepy. Why can't he be in your room? Okay. Next, we'll just go into the Black Watchman, which I think is definitely the inferior of the two ARGs we had. Once again, these games are very story-based because that's what keeps you along the puzzles. I do like how there is a lot of quality of life improvements from multiple RPGs to the Black Watchman, where like there's multiple answer variations. Like it doesn't matter if you have caps on, spelling on, dates in different formats, they will accept them, right? And that there are tons of different types of puzzles, and you'll never get used to them, right? They'll keep you on your toes. They're not overly difficult, and you kind of have that intuition with your big fucking ape brain, like, oh, I kind of think I know where I'm going, right? However, that's kind of where I have a couple of issues with this type of game, is that for a game that has its styling about, hey, the government's watching and a bunch of cybersecurity and privacy concerns, this game has its own fair share of privacy concerns that I would say are not okay anymore in this day and age. For instance, one of the big things it wants you to do is to create a burner Facebook account and befriend essentially a bot so you can get a password to complete a puzzle in the game. Yeah, I'm not okay doing that. It also wants you to have a burner email account. Once again, I'm not okay doing that. There's also I do remember reading a review that there is a business in this game that they want you to call. That there is actually a business that is very close to a name inside here, that if you actually call them, that is a real business, and you would be leaving a negative review on them, and it has negatively impacted that business, and they made a claim towards that, right? And a lot of the game's gameplay steps is like, hey, use Google. You're going to be on your own. Use Google to figure out the next steps of the puzzle. And what ends up happening is you actually end up getting the solution to the puzzle as well as the next couple of puzzles because you're using Google Foo, right? And that's kind of it in a nutshell, is that the game has a cool concept, but it falls apart in execution as well as presentation. The UI is kind of bad. The voice acting is kind of bad. And some of the puzzles straight up just don't fucking work anymore because the game is older and the addresses for the websites have expired. So you're kind of forced to go into the Steam discussions page and say, like, hey, what was I supposed to do here? And overall, he's in the chair behind me. So sleepy. Oh, the mic. He's in his throne. So for a game about trying to keep yourself safe and secure, it does cross enough lines where it's not okay. I would say it's playable, but I don't recommend it. If you're kind of paranoid like me about your security online, I wouldn't recommend picking this one up at all. Next is, I guess I could talk a bit about Splitgate 2. I think you should do interpretive dance for the next game. They will go crazy. Okay, so let me do this one, and then I'll do the interpretive dance, okay? How's that sound? This one is Splitgate 2, and this one technically is kind of hard to talk to because they've unlaunched it, right? Splitgate 2 doesn't fucking exist anymore, right? And we did play Splitgate 2 on stream, and I thought it was fine. Like, I thought as a shooter, it was fine. The Battle Royale mode was inoffensive. Everything has to have a Battle Royale mode, and I thought it was inoffensive. It's nothing worse than whatever slop everyone else is putting out. I thought the shooting elements was fine. I think if you're comparing it to Splitgate 1, I definitely don't think it's an upgrade. I think it's just, hey, you like Splitgate 1? Here's Splitgate 2. And I don't think that's a bad thing at all, considering you can't really play Splitgate 1 with a reliable lobby anymore. But it appears that the backlash was enough that they completely unlaunched Splitgate 2 and are now relaunching it under a completely different thing. I do remember that the cosmetics were insanely expensive to the degree where that's just not okay. I also remember the netcode not being the greatest. I thought the game overall, the gameplay was solid. I just think that some of the decisions that the company made behind them is a little baffling, and that's always kind of a killer for these free-to-play games, is that you may have a solid game in it, but if the company behind it is pretty fucking dumb at managing themselves, they're never going to last, right? There's a reason why stuff like TF2 has lasted for as long as it has, versus a game like fucking Splitgate 2 immediately evaporated into the ether, right? I think we have to post another question. Yes, we do. Alrighty. This is what was the first game streamed exclusively on YouTube. This means when we swapped primarily to only streaming on YouTube for a bit there, what was the first game we streamed on YouTube only? Because back in the day, I only streamed on Twitch because I didn't understand how to do... Actually, back when I first started, like 4 years ago, I don't think they had YouTube streaming available at the moment. And then eventually I just swapped because I was disagreeing with Twitch's stuff. And now I dual stream because I don't care anymore. Was it A, Neo, B, Amori, C, Liza P, or D, Left 4 Dead 2? There you go. It's up. It's posted in the chat or into the Discord. Alrighty. Next. If I can fucking load my document back up. Alright, this one's a big one too. Alright. Interpretive dance. Does it have to be standing or can I do it while sitting? I understand, like, it's a dance. Technically, I have to be on my feet, but that means I have to readjust my camera and I'm gonna scare the piss out of my cats. The next game is Who's at the Door. This is... There's a couple of genres like this. I don't know really what I would call the genre. It's a horror stand-up. Okay. Sorry, kitties. You're scared the piss out of. Nothing I can do about it. I do as the conch demands. Who's at the Door? It's about looking out the door and seeing, are they a monster or are they someone you trust? You know? You do that by looking around your apartment for anomalies. If you see an anomaly, then you know you're going crazy. And then you go take your meds. I don't know. That's as good as it gets. You might have seen a couple of streamers play this because it was kind of an all-the-rage game. It was pretty fun. I played it because the concept seemed cool about trying to notice details and remember details about stuff. And I played it. It's a very, very short game. The story is really interesting. to say the least, because there is an overarching story, and it actually was really fun. However, the gameplay loop is very short. The game is kind of expensive, and there's not much more to it. Once you beat it for $15, you're done for $15, you know? As far as the scariness goes, it is jump scare. You'll never see anything too disturbing. So the story is its carrying point, and that's really where it stands. I know there's other games that have more memorization to them that make it cooler. I think the best example I have is something like... I immediately forgot it. Papers, Please, where it's all about memorization. Papers, Please is a good example of that kind of idea. So if you want something like Papers like that, go play Papers, Please. If you want more of a horror element, I'm on observation duty. One of those will probably tickle your fancy pretty well, too. Next, a Neo-like that went under the radar for a lot of people, the first Berserker of Kazan. Now, a lot of people describe this as a Souls-like, and at first I did too, but it was kind of weird. If you don't know, Neo in the Neo franchise is my favorite of the Souls-like, to the point where I would almost say I like it a lot more, or a little bit more than the Souls games. And this kind of falls in line where it's more of a Neo clone than it is of that. I didn't know this, but it's actually like a spiritual prequel to, I think it's Black Desert Online or some shit like that. I do not know. It's a spiritual prequel to something but it has the same gameplay style as that of Neo, but a lot more limited options. You have 3 styles of combat you can use. You have the spear, you have the, I want to say it's the dual wield, and then you have, I think, a big ass axe. I don't remember. I went with spear because it's the best. And the enemies are the bosses are ridiculously hard, and the game's difficulty rating kind of very much goes between that fucking bullshit realm to very challenging very fast at points. I think if I was going to say, would you play this over Neo? I'd say no, I'd play Neo, because even though Neo is a bastard of a game, it does allow you to bounce it out pretty fast, because there's plenty of play styles to make you keep wanting more and more. It's like crack cocaine, versus this one, made by an indie studio, is they're starting out, and I'm very excited to see their next project, but this is the first baby steps into it. It's very good, don't get me wrong. The gameplay was a nice addition. Like, hey, I'm itching for a Neo game, with Neo 3 being around the corner. Oh, this was a good interim for sure, and that the story was really good, the characters really good, the combat really good, the music really good. I just think there is some things to say about their difficulty that needed to be a little tweaked at launch, you know? If you're looking for a hard game, this is definitely probably what I would recommend of the year. You should find the perfect song to describe it. I will get DMCA'd. I cannot do that. I can give you the title, but I cannot play the song on stream. I will get DMCA'd. Or, I don't really care about the DMCA. What happens is I will get muted. Okay. Title's fine. That works. Alright. The next game is... Ooh, this one's gonna be fun. Monster Hunter Rise. Let me see. Can I do a meme instead of a song? Is that too much? Is that not okay? Is that against the rules? A meme is alright? Alright. This is Monster Hunter Rise. That was for you guys. It makes you feel cool as shit. But imagine you had like a samurai helmet on. So Monster Hunter Rise is more of a traditional Monster Hunter game versus like Monster Hunter World and Monster Hunter Wilds, where they're kind of a branch off of the Monster Hunter idea, where Rise takes you back to the original formula of how it works, but still maintaining some of the world aspects of it, right? And I played this with my friend Gannon, and God, this game is really fun. It's so good. The different play styles and different armor set, it's all there, dog. And plus, the monster variety is so good. It keeps in line with Japanese mythology and Japanese monster types. It's so fucking fun. I believe for the majority of mine, I ran Longsword and then I ran Hunting Horn again, because I love me Hunting Horn. Before this, in World, I ran Hammer. And I think I was thinking about switching back to Hammer for Big Damage Boy, but I ended up going Hunting Horn because I like to toot where I toot. This game is really fun. If you like Monster Hunter and you didn't play Rise, give it a shot. Especially with Wilds right now being in this weird constant state of flux where it doesn't super work well, and they're working on it. Just pick up Rise, No Life Rise, you'll be good to go for a hot minute, I promise you. I think some of the problems I do have with Rise kind of come down to some of them. The buffs aren't as like massive as they were in World, where it felt like some of the things where the combat was, hey, you really are chasing down this monster and it's a fucking slugfest between you and the monster, and they're acting animalistic. In Rise, they will jump up a fucking cliff, knock your shit down, and fuck you up. There are tons of times you'll run into a monster and they'll just one-tap you and run off. The amount of times I've died in this is so much more than that of a fucking time in World. It's fun to see, like, hey, I remember that monster from World, and they beat our shit in and won, and it's like, oh, fuck! Overall, though, it is a fun time. I think I liked World a lot more than I liked Rise, but it's definitely a worthy hunter entry into this, right? Next, Donut County. Donut County is an interesting game. I got it because it seemed like a relaxing, kind of like relaxing, chill at home type of game. Because I remember seeing the a trailer or the like teaser for it way back in Yonder Day, and it's like supposed to be relaxing. It's about just like ruining a village as time goes on with witty dialogue going on. It's not meant to be a serious game. It's meant to be funny and relaxing, and it is funny. The gameplay element is just that you are a hole that sucks in shit, and you have to figure out how to suck in certain objects and buildings in a... It's like reverse what's it called? Kaminari, where you're just reversing... you're trying to take in as much stuff, and you have to figure out in what order do you take in certain items, so you get larger and larger so you can take in the entire goddamn village. All the while, there is funny dialogue between you and the other characters around, and that's really all that I can say to it. It's a very simple game that I imagine for, like, a couple of people is super relaxing, similar to how what we said about, like, A Little to the Left, where it's like, hey, if you don't rush this game and you don't do it all at once, it's solid. Like, it is a good, relaxing game with some funny little episodic dialogue. Versus if you just fucking bum rush it, you're not gonna like it. Because you're gonna be like, where's the content? Where's the value? It's not there. It's meant to be taken slow. It's meant to be like, I'm gonna unwind and destroy this chicken coop. All right? All right, moving on to... I might have to post another question. I do. Okay. This one is a freebie, guys. This one is a freebie, meaning there are no incorrect answers. I'm curious to see what you guys think. So you all get points for this. I know you're very excited. And that is, what game are you the most excited for in 2026? And I know that the top answer is probably going to be GTA 6 for, like, some people. But I'm curious to see what else you're excited for. Personally speaking, in 2026, I think right now for me is Neo 3. I'm a little nervous because I know Neo 1 and 2 did not launch on PC at first. They eventually came to PC, which means they had a lot of time to smooth out the rough edges. And they eventually didn't. When they came to PC, they ran pretty much immaculately. Versus launch on PC, Team Ninja has some struggles with that. So I'm a little nervous, but I'm very excited because I'm always down for more Neo. All right. Next is Blade and Sorcery. This is, I believe, the only VR game that's going to be on here. I haven't really made much effort to play VR games outside of my usual shtick of hot dogs, shoes, and hand grenades. But Blade and Sorcery was the one I took a chance on because I've seen so many TikToks and shit about it that it just looked cool as hell. And that's kind of where it all comes from, is that there's a shitload of community support in the form of maps and tech support. If you have any random issue with any random mod, as long as it has like a couple of downloads, there is a whole forum of dedicated people who literally look at that shit and be like, oh, this is the issue with it, this is what you do to need to fix it, or at least someone has reported the similar issue to you, and a lot of time they will fix it, help you fix it, right? Good community support around it. There's also a ton of, it's a very ambitious type of game with the map layout. You will go through like pirates hideouts, you'll go through like a coliseum, you'll go through a bunch of different shit with a loadout and just try to take on all the bad guys, right? There's also so many different type of weapons in base game without even getting into modded support, right? You have, I personally ran, I think I ran your standard bog store, like short sword and shield, but I know for a fact there's bows and arrows, there's daggers. No, I ran a parrying dagger and a short sword because I wanted to parry and then short sword them, right? And that was pretty fucking cool to do. That's kind of where all my good shit ends, because unfortunately this game is in VR. And I got really quickly reminded that goddamn VR does not translate to a good control experience. In this game, controls like absolute fucking ass. And for reference, I have a I don't know, is it a Quest 2? I have one of the Quests that don't require the fucking wires and shit, and it has pretty damn good latency. And it still controls like absolute ass. Climbing anything is a nigh impossible task, and you better be an experienced VR player, because you will get motion sick so fast in this game. And all the TikTok content I saw about this kind of made sense in retrospect. Was it's always the Coliseum, where it's a very static environment as people take each other out and do like duels and shit with modded weapons. And that makes sense, because if you're in the open world areas, you're doing a lot of movement, and it does make you very fucking motion sick. It's also worth mentioning that the enemies are fucking stupid as shit. You remember how I said I had a parrying dagger in my left hand, I had a sword in the other hand? It would never really come down to that, because guess what? They'd run over to me on the bridge and like get stuck on something, kind of teeter there, and then die. Or they'd fall off the cliff on their own. They are actually brain dead lobotomites. You don't have to really worry about in a combat scenario with them, because you are going to let the environment kill them 99% of the time. It is also, there is a story, but it is a old school Minecraft adventure map style of story where it's all done through like notes. You'll pick up a note, read it, and that's your story for the segment. It is ridiculous. There is really no soundtrack, and as you expect for a VR game, tons and tons of glitches. I understand for some people this is their go-to, and I'm willing to bet with tons and tons of mods this is an extremely good experience, but I'm not judging the game based on the community mods that are around it. I'm judging it on, I bought Blade and Sorcery because I wanted to try Blade and Sorcery. I'm sure with mods the game is extremely playable and great, but its base game being what it is what I was expecting. It's not a great time. I think with the mods, thinking about the mods with it though, there's a ton of potential, but Jesus Christ, outside of that, I wouldn't expect much out of it, dog. Alright, next. I got a bone to pick with this next game. Liar's Bar. Liar's Bar is a, back in the day, let me see if I can find it. There was this, like, board game called Pirates Dice, Pirates of the Caribbean. If you ever watched Pirates of the Caribbean 2, it's the one they play on Davy Jones's ship, right? And I had that as a kid, and it was really fun. And so they have that, and they also have a different type of game, but that's the one that I kind of remember in Liar's Bar. And the idea is it's just a party game between you and your friends of Russian roulette mixed with other shit, right? Pretty cool concept. I really do like the concept. It is fun gameplay where you're bluffing your friends or you're just lying and shit like that. There is card variant, there is a dice variant, and there's even more modes they added later down the line. And that the visuals are grimy and dingy, and they also do give you different like dive bars to be part of with tons of shit going on in the background. So even if you're dead or if you're just not your turn, you're just like, what the fuck's going on around me? Or you're making fun of something that's happening behind your friend, like, oh my god, you're getting destroyed. That monkey on the stage, he's going crazy on the saxophone. Shit like that, right? That's all I have to say about the positives. On the con side, I do not like AI. I know, hot take. AI is fucking terrible, and especially using it to replace voice acting. Where in Arc Raiders, I said there's like hundreds of, like a lot of lines which are all unique. Like, hey, Blanky Blank is over there. Blanky Blank's over there. And I say it's inexcusable because at the end of the day, amateur VAs are pennies on the dollars. And most of the time, some of them will do it for fucking free because it just gets their name out there in the industry that is dominated by the biggest names out there. I do not understand for this game why they didn't try, and they said because it was too expensive. I call horse shit to the maximum. As someone who has aspired to be an amateur voice actor, I know for a fact there are forums out there of people who will do this shit for free, right? That are good. They're not terrible, and if they are, they're doing it for fucking free. So there's literally no reason to use AI as your primary voice actors for your characters in this, right? Especially because this game did make a good substantial amount of fucking money. You need to use real voice actors. AI is just you trying to cut the bill in half or you being lazy. That's all it is. And then I also will say the character models make me question how far does this go, right? Some of the character models straight up look like they were ripped from a different website. Like the Fox character does look a shitload either like Nick from Zootopia or looks like the fucking Fox from Kung Fu Panda, right? If you do not have friends, there is no gameplay loop as well. But my biggest complaint, obviously overall, is the AI usage. I just cannot stand with it, and it's something that devs need to start avoiding. I understand that, like, hey, I'm an indie dev, I cannot afford it, blah, 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 blah. It's like, if you do some research, I'm telling you, if there's any devs striving out there, there are forums, there are people out there who will do it for free. Just go on Reddit, go on any forum, they will do it for free, just credit them so they can get a start, they can get a leg in the door, because that field is absolutely fucking dominated by some people who would take any commission they can get for, like, $1. Because they are trying to monopolize it, right? Overall, as a party game, it's fine. But as a piece of media, I think it's a terrible example of, like, hey, AI usage and it's worse, right? Next is Super Mario Man. Super Mario Man, here we go, is I don't know what Pokemon exactly ROM hack it is. I know it is a Pokemon ROM hack. I want to say it's Emerald or Fire Red. Yeah, it's one of the GBA ones, obviously. But it was released by the team who did Too Many Types, aka Alpha Rad's team, and basically it's a Mario overhaul of Pokemon that is actually very lovingly crafted to such a high degree that is so fun and cool to see. It has a bunch of quality of life features built in, like a custom randomizer, a Nuzlocke, if you want that shit. A very intriguing story, true to God character writing where Bowser acts like fucking RPG Bowser. It is made by a team that clearly both loves Pokemon to a high degree, that understands the competitive level, as well as Mario to such a high degree. And thus it's on here, even though it is a modded game. It is created by a modded team to the point where it outclasses what Nintendo has released in Pokemon in the last couple of years. It is fucking free. If you love Pokemon, if you love Mario, play it. Right. All right. I think we got another question. Actually, I want to see what some of you have been saying for your releases. Arc Knight's Infield? Didn't that come out already? Or is there like a Denfield? Or a demo? And then Neverway. Oh. I have a game for you if you like Neverway. Hecate. We'll talk about it. Actually, I don't know if you like it. That looks like kanji. Neverway was Hecate's thing. I'm guessing, I'm gonna go ahead and guess that Great Fins is fucking GTA 6. Guessing now. I think it's time to put another question up, though. Alright, this one is a simple answer A or answer B. I'm curious to see what you guys know. probably for him. Assuming it actually does come out in 2026. I think it will, but you never know. All right, which game do I have more hours in? And option A is Path of Exile 2. And choice B is Torchlight 2. You have a 50-50 chance on this one, chat. Best of luck. All right. Next game. We're getting near the end very fast, very fast. Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered. So for reference, I never played Oblivion. I didn't play the original Oblivion. Skyrim was my introduction to the series. I love Skyrim to death and back. Wiz can attest that I have spent many, many hours playing Skyrim when I should have been doing things that were probably more important at the time. So, I didn't get hit with the nostalgia stick when they just shadow dropped Oblivion Remastered. I did give it a try. But I kind of walked away from it saying, like, I don't know if it's meant for those who are nostalgia entrapped by Oblivion, or if I'm just too old to really like Todd Howard's style of gameplay, you know? From what I understand, it is a very faithful remaster of the original game, to the point where, like, the beloved voice lines, like the mistakes, all of that shit are one-to-one. Like, they did not remove it, they just upgraded the graphics and shit like that. And considering how bad Bethesda's reputation is, as well as the fact this is made in Unreal Engine 5, which is like the worst shit I have ever heard in my life, it runs well. It runs super well. I am shocked, you know? From what I understand is that it's because mainly Bethesda didn't really make it themselves. They outsourced their work to a group that was like specialized in UE5 creation tools. So that's probably why it doesn't have that many bugs and glitches, doesn't have that natural Bethesda shit charm to it. But it does run very well for what it is. It is a hefty game, but it also looks like it'd be a hefty game. But it does, you know, it looks great. My cons would be that more of a probably style, or not so much a style, but kind of core gameplay loop, is that the Oblivion open world is empty. Right, I understand it is an older style game where I can't say like they Breath of the Wild it, because Breath of the Wild came out many, many moons after this one. But in Skyrim, although the world is empty, there's tons of shit that will distract you and you'll go off this way, versus like in Oblivion, it doesn't seem like that's that common for that to happen. I will also say the combat definitely has not aged super well. I ran a fist build. Like, I did not pick up really weapons. If anything, I think I did a hammer build, but I eventually got rid of that and just started unarming the shit out of everything. And if you turned up the difficulty, it only made them bigger damage sponges and decreased how much damage you did. So it's the classic bullshit type of difficulty scaling that no one really likes. And there's a lot of quality of life features that they remove that I know the internet loves to bitch about having in multiple games, but multiple quests on the compass is gone. You can't select multiple items to sell, as far as I understand. And there's a lot of lack of information of more nuanced mechanics. For instance, a lot of people bitched about the lockpicking, and me included, because it's very difficult to understand how lockpicking works in this game, coming off of stuff like Fallout New Vegas or Skyrim. But they don't really explain it super well in-game either. Persuading is also very fucking shittily explained in the game. So it's one of those things, like, if I have to open up another fucking window to read how to fucking use your mechanic, I don't think you did a good job explaining shit, and why would I want to fucking do that, right? But I also think this game isn't meant for people like me who never played the original Oblivion. I think this is for people who really played the original Oblivion and want to play it again with better graphics. So for those people, this is amazing for them, right? This is awesome. But for me, it's like, hey, I'm not interested in it. I'm kind of bored of the old mechanics. They age like milk to me. Maybe I'll play Skyrim again, but overall, it's just not. It's inoffensive. It's just not for me. All right, next is World War Z. We played this with the boys. I am very excited to talk about this one. This game's good. This game's solid. I have been waiting for a Left 4 Dead 2 like-ish game for a very long time, and I thought we scored big with Back 4 Blood, which ended up not being the case. And then I've heard really good things about World War Z, where it's kind of stylistic hero type and stuff like that. I didn't have a lot of hopes reading it on the tin. It works. It's so fucking good. Dude, it's so fun. It's difficult as shit, to say the least, but they've unlocked it where you can play as any character with any skills, and the skills are actually fucking hilariously fun. The infected, the difficulty ramps are insane at points where I think we played on like medium and it was still pretty damn hard. Playing on the hardest difficulty ramp is insane how hard it can get. There's plenty of events that will keep you moving, and there's plenty of interaction that you'll have between your events. It's not just, oh, go to thing A, horde, go to thing B, horde, like they did in Back 4 Blood. There's actually, hey, you have to defend this objective, or hey, you have to make it to the end of this without dying, shit like that, right? And the amount of enemies you can have on screen without tanking your performance is something to behold. This is a very like, as far as a movie tie-in game, this is really cool, and I do like that it tied in very well with the Max Brooks lore of how it all worked. I will say it is kind of shorter in some segments. Some segments are long as fuck. Some segments are short as shit. Some characters are really good. Some characters are really bad. Some weapons are really bad. Some weapons are really good. It's just one of those things. I wish everything was either great. It's kind of how Left 4 Dead 2 works. It's like everything is good. You know, everything is good. You get everything. Everything is good on the tin. And it's the easy comparable thing. Why play that when you play Left 4 Dead 2? And it's because this is pretty damn good. But Left 4 Dead 2 is so much better. Some of the other cons I would say is that it does require quite a bit of a beefy computer to play, to say the least. It does have some performance issues and a couple of bugs that I did encounter here and there. But it is a solid game. Its price tag is usually around the $20, $30 mark from what I understand. Give it a shot. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Next is... I'm surprised you haven't demanded I do anything, Whist or Hecate. What are you guys doing? What are you guys so absorbed in? Alright, next is kill... My brain ran out of ideas. Damn. Next is Kill the Crows. I played this game pretty early into the year, to be honest. I got this back in 2022, I believe, as part of the Ukrainian bundle. And I never touched it until recently because I saw it and I was like, oh, I'll give it a shot. The pixel art in this game is beautifully well done. It is a round-based difficulty top-down shooter. Hey, you know I'm not 100%. No, you are sick. The art style is what really intrigued me originally, and how fluid all the motion is in it, and it is, true to God, amazing. The amount of variety you have with your weapons, your perks, and your skills, it always keeps the gameplay loop fresh. For a game that you could easily write off in an hour, it kept me around for, I believe, like how many hours did this keep me around? It kept me around for 3 hours when you could easily write it off after an hour. The showdown mechanic, which is basically your ultimate ability that you get to help you get through the rounds, is an insanely good idea to add to any kind of like top-down difficulty shooter that I think all of them should start adding. There's also tons of enemy varieties that each have their own. You have suicide bombers, you have ones that are focused on melee, you have snipers, you have ones that get stronger depending on how many enemies are around them. You have ones that do the same thing, but they will also try to gather enemies. You have ones that summon minions that make them all stack on each other. It is a really cool concept, right? That being said, this game is fucking hard as shit. It is one of the hardest games I have played this year alone. It is brutal, and it does not give a fuck about you. It will kick you while you're down. It will kick you in the nuts. And it is difficult as shit. There is, as far as I understand, I don't think there's a, like... There is a max you're supposed to get to, and the story does end at a certain point. I'm changing my answers because I think my husband's trying to copy me. What a cheating son of a bitch. But if you die, you have to make your run all the way back. It is a roguelite in the sense that you do get shit when you die, so it does try to make the game easier. Or it does change the gameplay loop up, but I don't think it makes it easier, in the sense. Sometimes the stuff you get is arguably worse for you. Like, you'll unlock curses, which will make it harder. I picked the last one first in all caps. Get her ass. I also really wish that it would pull kind of a Night Rain where the bosses would be more varied between the rounds in which you see them. And also, some of the bosses are stupid hard, some of the bosses are stupid easy. There is no difficulty curve. It's kind of a sinusoidal wave between the two, as well as the soundtrack is very simplistic. Overall, for a throwaway game, I was pleasantly surprised by it. I think it has some difficulty issues that could be ironed out, but like I said, it's a throwaway game. It's fine, right? Next, the game no one believed in, but came out of the gate swinging, Elden Ring Night Rain. I didn't believe in this game. I thought Miyazaki and his crew had smoked the fucking huppa pipe and weren't too crazy on the fucking hooboo stick. I was fucking wrong. This game's great. I love this game. It's playing Weed Shop 3 with ice down your back. Okay, that's gonna be in a bit. Okay, I will when I get ice down when I get to Weed Shop 3. Chill. So, for those of you who don't know, Elden Ring Night Rain is what happens if we took Elden Ring, reworked it into more of a roguelike extraction type game, which on the surface sounds dumb as shit and sounds like it shouldn't work, and that's what we all fucking thought, like, they must be stupid. Finally, FromSoft is going to miss with this one. They didn't. It works so goddamn well, it is insane. It is hard as fuck, it is fun as fuck, it is fast as fuck. Instead of creating your characters, you pick from a cast of characters that come equipped with their own standard weapons. You race through the night to get better weapons and better perks, so that way you can fight the night boss, which is basically the final boss of the night, and progress through the nights and progress through the story. It is overall a shorter game, but it is also a cheaper game. That being said, it is a hard as fuck game. Recently, they have put out a DLC, which I got the big boy bonus thing, is a $15 DLC otherwise, which still puts it, I think, under the price tag of $60. That added double my fucking playtime to the thing, because the boss is so fucking hard. They add mechanics from all of your favorite Souls-like, so it's not just Dark Souls, it's not just Elden Ring. They have Sekiro pairing mechanics and the Bloodborne dodge and heal mechanics. I said it. If you were like any of FromSoft's titles, this is a love letter to you. And above all else, it's important to realize that Miyazaki himself did not make this one. I think it was a second in command or someone in his staff approached the idea, said it to him, and I think he QC'd it and greenlit it, right? And it's very clear to me, at least, that it's a love letter to the series, and it's a love letter to the franchise, and if anything, it's a love letter to the ideas that they constantly put out. It is a fantastic game, and with the DLC, they clearly are not done with it. I hope they keep working on it, because it is seriously good. Some of the issues I have, though, is that the balancing is kind of trash at points. You'll pick up baubles, and some of the baubles just are arguably garbage. The Everdark needs a little bit more work. There are times where you'll pick up these baubles at Everdark, which have negatives, and they're not explained super well. Like, for instance, sometimes they'll say, hey, the circle does more damage to you. Circle, like, Fortnite. As it closes in on you, will do more damage. However, it also will say, like, something very similar on another one, except it's a percentage value instead of a +1. And it's like, I don't know what that means. And it doesn't explain anything super well. There's also some of the bosses, the difficulty, like, you'll fight a Cerberus type thing that you'll beat the shit out of. Granted, it's the first boss. Then you get the upgraded version of it, which will beat the fucking piss off you. There's also a ton of RNG that you are beholden to, unfortunately. So some nights you'll fight against a boss, like, hey, the final boss of the run is weak to sleep. Well, unfortunately for you, there's no sleep weapon on the map. You're not picking up a sleep. It's not required that you get a sleep weapon, but there is a cool interaction you could get from it. You are at behest of an RNG kind of cycle. I think for fans of Elden Ring, it's either you like it or you hate it. I really, really like it. In fact, me and my friend are right now going through a co-op playthrough of Elden Ring, and the amount of times we have tried to do stuff that is only in Night Rain, like Surge Sprint or fucking wall jump, is we've only just now made it through, like, the first segment. I think we're just now approaching Stormvale. We're at least in the double digits of trying to do mechanics that we really wish they would put back in the next one. Good job, Miyazaki. You did it again, you son of a bitch. All right, how many more questions do I have? All right. Next one, I'll post the next question. All right. Poll, what was the lowest rated game from 2024? So what was the worst of the year from last year, chat? Let's see if you can remember. Was it Ape War? Was it Battle Clash? Was it Lagoon? If I could spell Lagoon right. Doesn't deserve it. Or was it Stranger Zed? As in, which one was like the worst game of the year for me last year? See if you can get that one. All right. Next is Kletka. Kletka, I think, was like the first game I played of this year. Kletka is a almost Lethal Company-like game that had its ups and downs. Is it still in EA or did they finally release it? Let me check. It's in EA right now. Okay. I played this pretty early into its EA, and the idea is you are trying to feed this eldritch abomination that is your elevator. And that in order to do so, you must venture out into various haunted floors and gather shit and throw it back into the elevator to feed it so you can keep descending down floors upon floors upon floors. Where you stop is up to you, and you're taking a risk by skipping more floors because you might run into more dangerous shit, or you might just get boned and run into a floor that has absolutely fucking nothing on it. You can already tell that that's probably one of my biggest pet peeves. A lot of it's RNG based, and that's kind of my biggest complaint about it. It's also that this gameplay style loop is not unique to Kletka. I have played plenty of Roblox games that have that same gameplay style unique, and there's really no difference between that and then. I know that the developer, however, is putting a ton of effort into this game. He is constantly trying to update as much. This is his baby that he's not willing to let die, and I'm excited to see when it eventually comes out how it fully turns out. Because I think he is trying his best to bring it back up to what it was. For instance, when I first played it, I believe it was at mixed to mostly positive. It is now at very positive. That being said, I think when I first played it and my impression came out, it is fine. It is inoffensive. I got it for like $2, but it was not unique, and it was RNG heavy, and I didn't appreciate that. I'm excited to see. I'm going to keep my pulse on it because I do think it has a chance of being great. All right. Next is Weed Shop 3, which means I got to put ice on my back, which means, Wish, you got to get the ice, dog. I'm not doing it. Well, so this Guinness is warm and it's terrible. I've been nursing this beer for like 2.5 hours. So for reference, we are on game 41 of 59. Or 58. That's not right. Did I miscount? No. Okay, yeah. Here we go. Yep. So we are very much in the final stretch here before we get into the top 5 worst and the top 5 best. Yes, we're at 41 out of 59, I believe. Right? Yep. Waste, are you getting the ice? Because I really don't want to. Let's see. So right now, you guys have voted that I have the most hours in Path of Exile 2, and then lowest rated game, we have split between Battle Clash and Stranger Zed. And then going back was the first game streamed exclusively on YouTube. It's split between Mori, Lies of P, and Left 4 Dead 2. Who's the best soldier in our Halo playthrough? We have Frederick and Frank. We have how many streams this year? We have 68 and 63. What was the longest stream this year? Everyone voted for Soy Boy Moraine versus GigaChat Carl. We have how many series playthrough? Everyone voted for 4.
Merry Christmas.
Okay, this is Wheat Shop 3. This is another one of the simulator type games that has to do with drugs. I promise I don't have a problem. You have a problem. Ah! Wheat Shop 3, you own a weed shop and you sell weed. It doesn't have the cool drug At least you get to cool off now. That's true, I did turn on my fan. It doesn't have the cool interactions that Schedule 1 has, but this game came out in like 2019, 2018. Is significantly older than fucking Schedule 1. It is a very much a intensive Unity engine game.
No case concerned.
Your mom's killing your dad.
No, I'm not. This wasn't. Wait, was it my idea? I forgot it.
It was. I have the receipts.
You're mine, okay. Your dad's fine. There you go.
Wheat Shop 3, you manage a wheat shop and actually get really... I am.
How is it? Is it nice?
It's actually not bad.
I know.
I'm not looking forward to my underwear being soggy a little bit.
Keep it on your back, then it won't be.
It's gonna drip water. What the fuck? You actually get kind of deep into the... Oh god, it's actually starting to freeze a little bit. The economics of how you run your wheat shop as well as stock your products. And cater to your customers. You get different customer bases, whether it's a tourist, a junkie, or like influencers and shit like that, and you have to complete certain different tasks. There's also mini games you can do which provide different rewards. One of the things I think is a big negative for this game is that the level in which you can get in depth is not rewarded. You can stock one of almost every type of product there is in the game, and you are not rewarded too heavily for doing such a thing. You get like a small bonus, but not heavily. They do say like, hey, ideally if you want to keep this style like a 5-star rating, you need to have 3 smokables or 5 fucking tinctures or something like that, right? And like for me, I like to have one of everything in stock. So like if you're really poor, you can buy this fucking dirt ass doobie I found out by the trash can, dog. Versus like... that's not really rewarded to do so. In fact, you get pretty heavily punished at some points for doing that because they're never going to sell, right? But I did sink a lot of time into it. I did have a fair amount of crashes. One of the items in the game is a TV monitor, which allows you to actually enter any real website you want. So I did Cookie Clicker, I did YouTube, I did shit like that. But that is going to guarantee to cause a memory leak and crash your game. I put... I think 35 to 40 hours in this game. It's a fun simulator that I got really addicted to. I think when Weed Shop 4 comes around the corner, I'm excited. It's also worth noting that the guy who made this made obviously 2 other games that were kind of shit, and this one just happened to be a pretty big hit. So hopefully we see a Weed Shop 4 that follows the same vein where it's good, you know? Next, another game that I thought for sure would be my top 5, Mullet Matt Jack. This is a 90s tongue-in-cheek roguelike with fast-paced gunplay and a meta-esque storyline a la Super Hot that has more depth to it than I really got into. The music and visuals are on point for the vibe they're getting across, which is like the synthwave 90s action anime VHS style. Really my type of style that's made for me, right? There is a very generous checkpoint system that they give you, so it's not overtly difficult, which you would expect from a game like this, where you die, but don't worry, you can come back from the last major floor you did, and then just run it back, right? This game also knows exactly what it is on the tin. It's cheesy, and it knows what it is. It loves what it is, right? The gameplay is very, very addicting, with the idea being, if you can click ahead, if you can target the headshots and just get your headshots on, it's an instant kill almost everything. So you can build out to like, hey, I want to hit headshots only, and just get like a weapon that has like basically no body damage, only headshots will fucking reward you immediately. Also, one of my favorite VAs is in here. His name is Gianni. Gianni did is it Michael the Arcane? No. Who is he? Gabriel from Ultra Kill. He did Gabriel from Ultra Kill. He's also in this. He's done oh god, I need to look him up. Because he's such a fucking memer. He's done so many stupid little... Give me a second. I know him from Ultra Kill. Oh, it's starting to leak. For reference, Gianni's photo, official photo, this is the first thing that pops up for Gianni. Classic. So Gianni, he was in Ultra Kill, everyone knows that. SMG4, I actually didn't know that. Couple Cuckoos, he did Death Battle, Indie Cross, yeah, because he was Gabriel. He did a lot of he did Gaslight District for Glitch. Yep. Mullet Mad Jack, Abiotic Factor, Another Craps Treasure, Blood West. See what else. I know he was in some big projects too. Postal 4. Come on, I know you were in a big one. He was in Genshin. That's right. Basically, he is willing to do a lot of fun little projects, and he is one of my favorite VAs just because of how varied he is. And because he's in here, of course, there's tons of Ultra Kill references, which always make me smile. Gameplay-wise, there are tons of new things thrown at you constantly, keep you on your toes. As fun it is to click heads all the time, and it is very rewarding, you have to kind of strategically say, hey, am I always going to be able to click the head, or maybe they have some guard on their head, right? That being said, there are some problems. The game does have some keybinds that are pretty rough, that make some of the higher level weapons not really worth it. So, like, katana's pretty shit. Constantly having to click the mouse for some of the weapons is really rough on the old fingers, like the katana. I wish you could hold some of the time. It makes you feel like you have an old auto clicker. It's a carpal tunnel simulator. The bosses are easier than the levels a good chunk of the time. The bosses are really the levels in themselves, because you are going to have to do a ridiculous run back to get to the boss if you somehow die on the boss. Melee overall, I cannot stress, is kind of weak at the point where I played it. The game is also short, but it's not a bad thing in itself. There's a ton of good shit in this game to do. It knows its charm and knows where it is. If you like boomer shooters, you're going to like this one a lot. It is a love note to everyone who likes boomer shooters, as well as those who love those cheaty, like 80s, 90s action flicks, you know? I like this one a lot. It was a very fast-paced game. I don't think you're going to hate this if you like that style. Definitely give it a try if you like boomer shooters. All right, next is What the Golf? What the Golf is a puzzle game similar to A Little Bit to the Left, where it's more tongue-in-cheek humor. It is very funny in its subtle style of humor. You can't kind of predict what the level is. It's like maybe you hit a ball, maybe it's like golf. Maybe you do like golf a ball into the hole. Maybe you are the flagpole, trying to be the flagpole, trying to hit the flag into the golf ball. Maybe you hit the human into the flag, you know? There's always a change up on the level each time that makes it really, really funny, right? The art style does complement that kind of humor that's really relaxed and does make it for an easy laugh a lot. It's soft polygons with a minimal amount of outline that really does kind of relax you and make it funny. Music's really relaxed and laid back. It's super funny. Lots of levels with daily rotating puzzles for you to figure out. This is one of those types of games I would say with the same thing with A Little Bit to the Left, is that take this game slow. Don't rush through everything that there is to do. Maybe a level or two a day to kind of relax yourself at the end of a really stressful day, I think is how I would play this. I did that for a very long time, where I do a couple levels here and there. If I was really feeling binging, I would binge it for a bit. It's a couple of days for a brain teaser with a little light humor. There are some crown requirements that do require you to think a little bit harder. So if you really want to stretch and really use that big brain of yours, you can. But some of them are not super difficult. It's just like, here's this time requirement, beat the time requirement and move on, right? Overall, I think it's really funny. It's a tongue-in-cheek humor. It's not a super long game, but I think that's exactly why they added the kind of the daily rotating puzzles. I do think if I was going to recommend a puzzle game, I would go with A Little Bit to the Left, because it is a lot more relaxing, and I don't think a lot of people are going to appreciate the humor off of this one, but give it a shot. All right. Castlevania Rondo. Actually, do we have to? Yeah, we do gotta post another question. We are running. We're near the end. We're about to enter the top 5 worst here soon. All right, this is a freebie. You guys get another freebie, you lucky sons of dogs. What series would you like to see us play? Like to see me play through next? So that would be like another like series playthrough, like how we're doing Castlevania or Halo. Like maybe you want me to play through all the Final Fantasies. If you do want me to see me do that, that's insane and screw you. But you get the point, right? Something like that. All right. Next game is Castlevania Rondo of Blood. I talked a bit about this when we did Dracula X. This is the Japanese exclusive version of Dracula X, where it's not a port or a remaster or anything like that. It is its own standalone game, which I was shocked by how good it was. The scenes are funny. We had a Japanese-German copy, which made them even funnier. The gameplay is extremely well done. The difficulty is adjusted just correctly, whereas Dracula X was overtly difficult for no reason. This one is done perfectly well. I really do think that if I was going to pick one of the two, I would pick Rondo of Blood every day, and that if I was going to come back to any of the older classic ones, outside of 4, this would be the one I would come back to almost every Halloween. Rondo of Blood is a great addition to it, and I think in my mind, when I think, hey, Richter Belmont's game, I now think of Rondo of Blood. It's unfortunate that it took so long to get to America, where now the only way to do it is for WiiWare, which you really can't get a hold of anymore. Cough, cough. But, you know, give it a shot if you like Castlevania. It's a solid game, and the cutscenes are hilarious. Next, we have Look Outside. So, if you guys remember the last 2 years, I played a series called Fear and Hunger. Fear and Hunger is a series that is very near and dear to my heart because of how brutally difficult it is, as well as how, like, overtly depressing it is. And I mean that in a good way, in the sense of, like, Berserk. Berserk is overtly depressing, but it is about the struggle of humanity and overcoming said struggles of humanity, as well as being a motherfucking badass the entire time, right? And Fear and Hunger is made with that same idea in mind in a video game format. Look Outside is... When I finished Fear and Hunger 1 and 2, I was like, I need something else like it, but there's not really a whole lot of things like it. I saw Look Outside. I'm like, that's as close as I think I can get at this moment. So I picked up Look Outside because the art style reminds me a lot of... Let me see if I can find his videos. I don't remember... Lumpy Touch's art. His name is Lumpy Touch on YouTube, and he kind of made the I'm Sorry John stuff a little more popular. And it reminded me a lot of his art, and he was one I used to follow a lot. Oh, give me a second, I gotta open this back up. And it's an RPG style that has to do with trying to, like, survive, and as well as overcome eldritch abominations while you're in an apartment, as well as make difficult decisions and kind of maintain your sanity, right? I don't know what it was about this, but it did not click with me. I think it had to do with where Fear and Hunger, there was this overwhelming feeling of, like, hey, it's Berserk, there are elder gods at play that you don't understand, as well as deep lore that's going on, where it's an interesting backdrop and setting in history. Versus Look Outside is not really that way. It's not really that kind of level of interesting. As well as, like, hey, the RPG mechanics aren't nearly as in-depth it felt like when I was playing Look Outside to it was with Fear and Hunger. And maybe it's just because I went into the game with an expectation of another Fear and Hunger in it. But Look Outside did not wow me into the same degree that this one did. I think if I had to say, I know that he's working on updating it, and I know that a lot of people are really enjoying it, and that's great. I think that the art style is really good, and I think if you're looking for a disturbing game, that you don't want that same level of brutal difficulty, because this game is not that level of brutal difficulty, thank God. this is it. This is a good entry into getting into Fear and Hunger. But for someone who's coming from Fear and Hunger, it's kind of a difficult switch up. Good starting point, but someone who's coming from it, not exactly for me, you know? We have Baldur's Gate, Witcher, and Stardew. Stardew is only one game. It's not a series, dog. And Baldur's Gate... God, when did the original Baldur's Gate 1 come out? Fuck, can you even get a hold of the original Baldur's Gate 1? And Witcher... Jesus Christ. Witcher 1 was inoperable. That game did not work at long. That game still doesn't work. Interesting picks, though. Alright. This is our last game before we get into the top 5 worst and the top 5 bet. No, we skipped one. We skipped a couple. Wait a minute. What the fuck happened here? I've been duped. Haunted Chocolatier, but it has nothing to do with Stardew. I knew we skipped a couple. What happened? When was I supposed to do these ones? Hey, there's cheese rolling. Okay, fuck it. Next we'll do cheese rolling. I got fucking bamboozled by my own fucking list. Cheese rolling is a free-to-play party game where you chase after your cheese roll rolling down the hill. It's free, it's very simple, it's entertaining as fuck. Get some friends together, go play. It's inoffensive. You unlock cosmetics by getting the cheese wheel. It is what you think would be on the background of something like Smiling Friends. It is fucking hilarious. It is a good time. There's not much to it. It doesn't try to innovate. It's not trying to do... This is probably some guy's first foray into video game making, and they made a fun party game. The Steam reviews are by far and away probably the funniest thing I have to say about the game, though. Go read that shit. It's fucking amazing. Dead Letter Department. We did this for our Halloween stream. It has an interesting visual style that works super well with the atmosphere that's set forth by the game, and the music and sound effects is actually unnerving and fits the tone of the game really well. But at the same time, that grainy VHS style can be a bit much and actually cause some issues when it comes to trying to read and see shit. The plot is kind of a loose thread that keeps invested players playing. It didn't for me. I have not gone back and played it. And I'm not really a big fan of these type of horror games that you have to... That's not really scary and has so many different types of endings where you had to, like, fucking investigate the one hair on this guy's nutsack to get it, right? This wasn't really my type of horror game. And... it is a good learning experience. It's one of those, like, it was the last ARG I think we played this year, / mystery game. A Gentleman's Dispute is a really, really fun party game where you and your friends and old dapper clothing pick up fucking funny shit and beat the fuck out of each other across the arena. It is a really fun party game. I love playing this one. It can get super competitive and very meta very fast. Some items are just absolutely better than others, and the skill ceiling is kind of capped pretty hard. You are limited by, like, hey, if they decide to gang up on you, there's not a goddamn thing you do. There is a very limited rotation amount of maps, and that there's a very limited rotation amount of items you can have. You're kind of just fucked if you don't get those items. Okay, I've caught up. Now we move on to the final game before we get into top 5 worst, top 5 best. This is Awaria. Awaria is made by the same guy who made Helltaker. If you didn't know who Helltaker Dev is, Helltaker Dev is one of the most base devs on the goddamn planet. He made Helltaker because he didn't see enough fan art of demon girls in suits, which was his fetish. He said, you know what, I'm making a game for that, so that way I see that kind of shit. So he made Awaria, which is about girls, ghost girls in utility outfits. My man has the weirdest fetishes of all time. I don't kink shame, what the fuck ever, right? So, Awaria's music is still... like Helltaker, fucking amazing. I will say I do like Helltaker's OST a lot better than I like Awaria's, but this is still really good. I do think the gameplay loop is a good change from Helltaker. I was expecting it to be a puzzle game like Helltaker, but this is actually a bullet hell-like game. And it's also, like, really fucking hard. Helltaker can be hard, but it's more about using your fucking soft little muscly tissue up here called your brain, versus this one, you gotta use your fingies and get better. I think the character in this design is also really, really good. He never misses with this character design. I do like Helltakers. I think they're more memorable for certain. I also do like that there's just a random eat button. Does nothing. You just eat a pudding. Cool. This game is also very fast and very quick to beat, similar to Helltaker, where if you're good, it'll take you like an hour or two. Versus Helltaker, it could take you upwards like 6 to 8 hours. It's really cool. Can be a very hard game, so I think if you don't like difficulty and you just want a free-to-play game with really cool artwork and you like Von Ripper style of stuff, go play Helltaker. And I think I would say, like, if I was comparing Awara to Helltaker, I do say a Helltaker is a lot better. But Awara is a very good game. It's also free, which is the best price. All right. Time for another question. All right. Real big throwback. What was the game of the year from 2023? So not last year, but the year before that. Was it Super Mario Bros. Wonder? Was it Pizza Tower? Was it Lies of P? Or was it Pokemon Infinite Fusion? Let's see what you guys got. All right. We move on into the, I guess, I don't want to say top 5 worst, because that's kind of not how that works. But these are the worst 5 games I did play this year, right? So, let's start from, like, the best of the worst, right? Wait, is that right? That's not right. That one's low, ain't it? Huh, okay. We'll start first with Chucksy. This is your game. Yes, what was my game of the year in 2023? Chucksy. Chucksy is this weird horror game where you investigate a hospital, hotel thing, and you use a gun to kill ghosts. You probably saw a clip on TikTok or YouTube of some guy having a freak out, killing someone with it. That's really an interesting concept, and that's what got me to buy the game. That's kind of it. That's all where I got to say the nice things about, because the controls are rough, there is no fucking soundtrack, the gameplay is walk to room, shoot at thing, get jump scared, then walk to the next room. That's your gameplay loop. And that's also the only horror element, is that you get jump scared a lot. Big volume, big jump scare. Oh well. Also, this game performs like fucking ass. Like, I had a 3090, a 7800X 3D. Very powerful combination. It was utilizing every fucking thing I had to play this game. I'm not 100% sure, chat, that this was a fucking... I'm not sure if this was a crypto miner or not. I'm not 100% sure it's not a crypto miner. To me, it looks like a very simple and lazy asset flip that might have been taking something off the top. I got it because I saw streamers playing it and I thought it'd be funny. It'd be like a fun laugh or two. It ended up just being really boring and just a non-existent gameplay loop that at points when it got exciting was mediocre, right? I don't recommend getting it because I can't prove that it's not a crypto miner. It's just boring. There's plenty of other games. Go play Outlast. Go play Outlast 2. Don't buy Chucksy, right? Just don't. All right. Next is Post Void. I played Post Void after playing Madhouse, Matt Jack. Mullet Mad Jack, excuse me. Because I wanted another boomer shooter that was fast-paced as shit, and it turns out I had one in my library from the Ukrainian bundle I had from a couple years ago. I was like, oh shit, I'll try Post Void. It's fast-paced timing gunplay, requiring the player to be bouncing, going fast as fuck, and hitting your shots, similar to Mullet Mad Jack. And it does have like a visual style that does remind me of the old style of MTV, like cartoons and stingers they had between their shows and music. And there's also a good amount of enemies. Pretty solid. Unfortunately, that same visual style can cause a fucking migraine and a shitload of eye strain. I don't have seizures or epilepsy, but I can only imagine if you have any inclination that you might, this game will fuck you up really badly. It is constantly flashing lights and has constantly grainy visuals that, as far as I could tell, cannot be turned off or get away from. If you look in the discussions and reviews for this, that is the number one complaint you'll see a lot of people bitch about, is that there is no accessibility to fucking get rid of that shit. And it's also, there is no option, there's no mod support, anything like that. The upgrades also are very bog standard for your guns. Nothing too interesting. It's like, reload faster, a little more damage, a couple more ammo shots, stuff like that. And also, some of the enemies are just way too fucking strong right off the gate. Like, you'll be fighting your grunts, like, oh, 2-shot, kill you. 3-shot, kill you. You fucking fight this behemoth that's like 20 shots. Like, what the fuck are you doing here? There's a drone enemy that you have to fucking slow down and get a perfect shot on, because it's buzzing around the fucking map, taking your head off so fast. And it's just early in. I do not recommend this game, because it is an eye strain. I get migraines, but they have nothing to do with, like, actual eye strain. And I still walked away thinking, God damn, this game is extremely hard to look at. And I do not recommend looking at it. Especially if you're, like, anywhere inclination towards, like, oh, I might get fucking issues with looking at shit. I know it's sitting right now at an overwhelmingly positive, but I cannot say that it works for me that well. I cannot support that level of fucking eye strain it causes. Alright, I will ask another question, and then we have one more question. We'll wait till we get through the negatives, and then we'll get the one question. We'll do the next question. Alright? Alright. Next is my summer car. This, for a long time, was the worst game I played this year. This is another one of those games that's like super high positive on Steam, and I do not understand the point behind it. For those of you who don't know, this game is about reconstructing a Datsun. I don't know if it's a 280Z. I don't remember. It's about reconstructing a Datsun car in your garage, while you have to earn money to get the parts to rebuild it, use parts, new parts, and try to like piece it together with your own knowledge. It's not going to hold your hand. It's not going to tell you how to do shit. It's kind of expecting you to kind of walk in with knowledge on how to do that. That's not a negative, by the way. I knew that going in. I kind of wanted that, right? For those of you who don't, I kind of walked in because I just got done watching Ronald Finger's like whole series about rebuilding an 85 Fiero, and I was like, oh, I want something like that I don't have to spend the fucking money to do it. And I was like, oh, my summer car is apparently a lot like that. It controls like ass. It looks like ass. There are you have two different types of crouching, and most of the time, once you're done crouching, you get stuck in like slow motion that you can only fix by jumping. And the menus explain nothing. And I don't mean like how to rebuild parts of the car. Like I said, you're gonna walk in you're not gonna walk in with it explaining, hey, this is how an engine fucking works, or this is what this part of the car does. You're expected to know that, and that's entirely fine. You have to do Google Fu to figure it out, and that's part of the charm to it. I mean, it doesn't tell you how to start the fucking game. It doesn't tell you where to do anything. It doesn't give you objectives outside of what's on the tin, like my summer car, rebuild car, right? It doesn't tell you shit. It's also worth mentioning that this game is 100% not fucking optimized at all. It looks like shit, it performs like shit. It blue screened my PC the first time it launched, and then subsequently fucking full throttled all of my components to the max. It is not optimized in the slightest. It glitches out your audio system everywhere. I would just look at the motorcycle that you get, and it would just fucking ear rape the shit out of me. And I'm not on the motorcycle. I'm just looking at the fucking thing. I think the reason why a lot of people like this is because it's a hell yeah simulator. Because if you look through the reviews, it's about, you do occasionally get an objective where you have to go pick up your drunk uncle at the bar, smoke ciggies and drink beers on your bicycle as you go pick him up and bring him back home, and get in the bar fight along the way, which has nothing to do with you rebuilding your fucking car. It's about you getting into fucking nonsensical adventures on the side, and to maybe be that fucking hell yeah simulator. There is a dedicated beer drinking button. There's a dedicated pissing button. There's a dedicated flipping the bird button. It is more of a, this is a cool, like, fuck yeah, I can do this simulator versus I want to rebuild the car piece by piece simulator, which is what it said on the tin. It's not what I said it was. The community said that it should be a massive Google Fest of a game, which is exactly what I wanted, right? I want exactly that. I want to be able to, like, hey, I have to do some research to rebuild a car. What I do not want is, hey, I don't want to have to Google, how the fuck do I start the game? How the fuck do I get an objective? Like, how the fuck do I find the parts I have? Or how do I start taking apart the fucking car? How the fuck do I fix the goddamn performance issues? And apparently a lot of it seems to have to do with the DirectX 9 from the game props, and that I did remove that option and it still has to persist, and the game doesn't really fucking function at all. From what I had to guess, this is one of those games that just got memed into popularity because of the fuck yeah, like hell yeah part of it, where I'm drinking a beer and smoking a cigarette and flipping the bird and pissing as I drive my fucking bike down the road, you know? And that's probably why it's so popular. But as an overall game, it is just not acceptable how fucking unfunctional it is. I cannot recommend. Stay away from it. There are plenty, if you want to rebuild a car, there is a whole simulator type game where you get to design a car from the ground up that will not teach you anything. Do that one. What is it called? If you're looking for a game like that, that's like My Summer Car, that actually is a little bit better. There's always the car mechanic simulators, but they're a little rougher on the edges. For certain, and they do hold your hand. It's also worth mentioning that the tagline they give for this is not a fun game. And they nailed that shit right on the head now, didn't they? It's not a fun game. If you're looking for a game that really does get that fucking feeling in your bones, let's see. God, you're not gonna pop up. Automation, the car company tycoon game. Play that. You get to actually optimize the performance patterns of your engine as well before you release it to the public. Just play that. It's a very good game. All right. Next, this is the second to worst last game, or fuck it. Receiver 2. Receiver 2 is an idea of, I don't even know what the point of this game really was. It's the idea is you're going through levels shooting balloons, and it has an intricate level of gun control, including using your, if it has a hammer, is that you would decock the hammer, you can reload, you can clear jam, and also just doing any malfunction clearing drill as possible, right? That's as far as my compliments go, and that's barely a compliment where it has an interesting idea of how many intricate levels of stuff that are in there. Tarkov has that same level of intricacy, and I fucking hate Tarkov with a burning passion. This doesn't even have... You are turrets, you get tapes, and you shoot yourself in the leg with the Glock, because apparently that's what happens when you have a striker-fired gun. That's not what fucking happens when you have a striker-fired gun. You get tapes, and you just do that over and over and over again, and it just repeats. There is no story, and instead it attempts to be like a weird therapy on lesson of gun safety at the same time of like how to use a gun in certain situations, while also teaching how to be realistic with its gunplay. Then why in the fuck do you shoot yourself so easily in the leg with a striker-fired pistol? I get the idea behind it is that, like, hey, there is no safety on it because it's striker-fired, but then have a different mechanic than saying, hey, you have to holster it slowly. I'm going to be real with you, dog. If you are holstering a striker... I'm a gun guy. If you're holstering a striker-fired pistol, I'm not fucking putting my finger on the trigger. That's how I do it. Finger off trigger into the holster. That's how it's done. It's not fucking realistic how they do it. You fucking think you're an ape-brain... The game, there is no gameplay. It is like, imagine if the Stanley Parable destroyed all of its humor, put mediocre gunplay into it, and said, I'm smarter than you about this subject, and I'm going to teach you about this subject. And they talked down to you the entire time, made you feel like a fucking moron, and then did everything incorrectly. That is Receiver 2. I fucking hate this game. It is tedious, annoying, and has nothing to offer to you. It functions. And I do like for an indie dev that has this level. I just fucking God, get off your soapbox, dog. What is it sitting at? Very positive, of course you are. You play as a man who can't fall more than 5 feet without danger, injury, and horses. Yeah. It's because it's a meme. It's a meme of how bad it's good, right? And for the worst game of the year, but it's fucking Uno. Now, for some of you, this is very surprising, I imagine. Because some of you, we played Uno on stream, and it was fucking amazing. I said on stream, this is the best game Ubisoft has ever published, and it must suck because it has nothing to do with Ubisoft. Don't you worry. Ubisoft heard the message, and they said, fuck it, we're going nuclear. Since then, they released a DLC of the... what was it? I think it's called the Brutal Pack or something like that, where it's like the meme of like, draw 20, draw whatever I fucking want you to draw. Suck your mom. You know, shit like that. Yeah, what is it called? It doesn't even tell me because it's so overwhelmingly negative, it's not going to show. So it went from a 9 out of 10 game with like Ubisoft. The worst thing I could say is that I hated that I had to do anything with the Ubisoft launcher because the Ubisoft launcher is actual fucking shit. And that the cosmetic store is a little shady. To like, it is unplayable. You are going to get kicked from your lobby. You're not going to be able to do anything. The game glitches the fuck out. The game has no idea how to give you a turn. And it doesn't even matter if you bought the DLC, right? I had a big problem with Risk of Rain 2 when they released one of the DLCs and it fucked the game sideways. But I also bought the DLC, so I don't know if they fucked the game on the personal level since then. Or when they did that. But this one, I didn't even buy the fucking $20 DLC and they fucked it sideways. It is literally unplayable. And the worst part about it is that update occurred, I don't know, fucking back in early October or late October. And they didn't say anything until late fucking November about it. They let that shit go on. It's still in an unplayable state. We're near the end. It's been almost 2 fucking months and it's still unplayable. They ruined their own fucking game. For no reason. Like, how do you fucking ruin it? How did you ruin something that was working so well? It is literally unplayable. And it's not a new game. It's Uno, dog. How do you fuck it up? It was so good, too. It was in the top 5. You're preaching to the choir, son? I know. It's just so sad. Ubisoft fucked it sideways, dog. They literally had a W pick on this one, and they said, no, we didn't make it, so we gotta fuck it up. God damn it. I digress. Anyways, Uno's the worst game of the year, by far and away. Because it's such a fucking letdown. Leave it to Ubisoft, you know? I'm glad they got bought out. Fuck them. Alright. We have another question for the Discord. What game was played on stream the closest to its launch day? Was it A, Mega Bonk, because we did play Mega Bonk on stream. Was it B, Splitgate 2? C, Path of Exile 2? Or D, Dead Letter Department? Which one of these would we play closest to its release date? Go forth, my little sleuths. Alright. Oh, we forgot to do Path of Exile 2. Oh, okay. I'll do this one real quick. Path of Exile 2 is in early access right now. Why? How did I fuck up? Oh, it's between Awara and Look Outside. It's a more modern version of Path of Exile. It's really good. It looks absolutely gorgeous. I'm still playing tons and tons of it. In-game sucks. It's not really fun. The difficulty balances out the ass. Good loot's really rare. It's really resource heavy, so you need a pretty beefy stick and needs to be optimized. It's very addicting. I love the classes. It's really sucking that they couldn't figure out how to get it out this year. Definitely keep an eye on it for EA, but for now, it's really good. Keep an eye on it. All right, top 5 of the year, chat. Top 5 of the year. Which will it be? All right. At number 5, the 5th best game I played this year is Balatro. It's very addicting. So Balatro was one of the first games I actually did play this year, and I went into it thinking there's no way I'm going to get addicted to it. I didn't seem like it would stand out to me. I know that there's tons of people who went into last year Game of the Year saying like it's really, really good, it's really, really addicting, it's on everything, blah, 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 blah. It's very easy to spend tons and tons of hours. Like, I don't think it'll happen to me. I got fucking ramrodded, dog. It was very, very addicting. The pixel art and the animation pixel art is so goddamn good. And it's a card game. And the thing that stands out to me is that the flame artwork, that the higher your combo gets, the higher you beat the goal behind a level. It just gets higher and higher. Oh, it's so... I love it. I also do like the unique take on the genre of the roguelike. I do foresee a lot of copycats coming out. And like I said, I did like Dungeons and Degenerate Gamblers. And I foresee a lot of games trying to capitalize on Balatro's formula, which, spoiler, there have been, and none have stuck. I do also like the Joker art. A lot of the Joker arts. A lot of them are obscure references and are tongue-in-cheek jokes that I really do like. There's also a lot of ways to modify your runs with the arcane spectral jokers, etc. So you're not always focused into doing like, I need to do a flush, I need to do a run of 3, or a trips. There's so many ways you can do it. There's also a good ramp in difficulty. The game wants you to break it if you can, and that first time you do, you feel so rewarded. There's also a very hard wall where the game's like, you do not pass, fuck you, unless you have the most brokenest fucking build. It sounds like the dev behind this is super attentive and funny as shit when it comes to making jokes about shit like this. He himself has said that this game is hard as fuck, and he likes how hard it is. There's so many unlockables in this, as you expect for any roguelike that is out there. That being said, there are things where some tactics to approach a run are better than others. Like, if you are trying to unlock shit, go with flushes. They're going to always do better than anything else. And that's just due to the odds of how poker works, right? You have a 1 out of 26 chance of getting a flush, usually, compared to that of every other hand. You can modify the shit while going on. I also wish there were more music options. The one song that's in the back is good. You know, it's really good. It's classic, but it does grind after a little bit. The mod support is coming around for sure. I mean, I released a whole video about the Pokemon mod that's behind it. It's great. This game is very addicting. I think that if you haven't tried it yet, I think you're missing out. Give it a shot. I went into it thinking there's no way I'm going to get addicted. I was very addicted very fast to this. Trust, you will be too. Next is Mega Bonk. Mega Bonk is the funniest fucking title to the game that ended up being a sleeper hit that I've seen in a minute. Mega Bonk is one of those games I turn my brain off and just go fucking brrr with, and the game really does encourage you to turn off your brain and go brrr with, because the idea is you pick a class and you just optimize the fuck out of it and try to break the game as fast as possible. And clearly everyone kind of received that well. There's a whole class called Monkey, and the idea is you are a monkey that does monkey things. It's your it's the next step in the Vampire Survivors like that kind of takes that Vampire Survivors like and adds Risk of Rain elements into it, which is a beautiful blend of elements that I really, really do appreciate. At the time when I played it, there was a little bit of lack of content. There was only 2 kind of levels you can get through. Granted, I never beat the second level of boss all the way through. I unlocked all the characters and got a good chunk of the items, but still, I know he's released a spoopy update that was in time for Christmas, because of course it is. That's on par with the dev. But the dev is very attentive. His humor is right in line with mine. And for God's sakes, he got nominated for Best Indie Debut, and he immediately messaged the fucking Game Award to say, hey, this is not my debut game. Like, I went under a different name. That's pretty fucking big-brained, like, honest of him in a field where he could just very easily been like, I'll take that fucking shit easily. I hope he makes a ton of money. I'm very excited to see what else he puts into Mega Bonk. It's a very addicting game. I think if you love Risk of Rain 2 as much as I do, if you love Vampire Survivors, I guarantee you Mega Blanc is going to speak to you to a high key level like mine, right? Give it a shot. The big three. The big three, chat. It's the big three. It is the big three. Let's do the final question. Let's do the final question. And it's a freebie. This is, what is a more unorthodox series? Kind of like when we do like our Magic opening streams, or like when we play Magic, or like our workout streams, you'd like to see either more of, or like you would like to see us start up, right? Stuff like that. Like just more like, hey, we play video games and shit like that, but what's something outside of the trend that you'd like to see us do more often? Because I like the idea of experimenting. I am limited by some technology and shit. Like I wanted to do cycling streams, but I am very hard cap limited by what I can do. All right. Number 3, the third best game of the year is Hollow Knight Silksong. This game, I did not think was ever going to come out. I mean, okay, jokes aside, it was going to come out. I didn't think it was going to come out anytime. The fact that it kind of almost shadow dropped was kind of funny. I will say this, if you have played Hollow Knight and you're waiting for this one is a hard motherfucker of a game. I have gripes, but they are outweighed incredibly by its pros. It is exactly what you wanted. You wanted more Hollow Knight, but with more fluid mechanics, more upgrades, and more shit to explore, as well as a great story. It's all here, baby. Team Cherry's here, and Team Cherry's fucking pissed at you for doubting in them, because everything hits for 2 masks of damage every time. Oh, you're still mad? Fuck you. Here's 3 masks of damage, you little bitch. Here's some insane parkour, bitch. There's also so many different types of movement type. I'm not going to get too deep into the story because, frankly, I don't really understand it right now. I know Mossback has made a video. I'm scared to watch it because I didn't fully complete the game. If you know, you know. There's a whole act that I still need to do that I locked myself out of. But there is a ton of different elements that you can approach the game. Where Hollow Knight Silksong Hollow Knight had one method to approach the game, where it is the Knight's method is to pogo, to hit, to use your magic or your soul, and to kind of get your way around. Where that's his kit, right? That's the Knight's kit. Versus Hornet has so many different types of combat methods that she can bring to the battle, and some are better than others, right? You have a heavy style, you have a light style. Fuck, you could be the Knight if you really want to be. And there's so many different types, but they've also amped up the difficulty to the 9s. This is not an easy game. This is a very, very difficult game. But for those who are willing to venture, it makes sense why it's so difficult. And the story is definitely really, really good. And I would say if I had to say which one I like more, I definitely say I like the original a little bit more because the story was so shocking and out of the way. Like, I didn't expect something like that coming from this studio. Versus Silksong is like, you know, it's kind of like a Half-Life 3, you know? You're expecting a lot. It couldn't live up to expectation. It did, but it's also like, I really need it to be digested a little more. This is exactly what people wanted when they wanted a Hollow Knight, right? I cannot go without mentioning, by the way, I have never, ever seen this in my entire, like, 28 years of existing and, like, 24 years of gaming. This game, on launch, it crashed Steam. It crashed PlayStation Store. It crashed Nintendo Store. It crashed Xbox. It crashed everything for like half a fucking day. It was $20. It was $20, and they're releasing a free DLC later in 2026. Common Team Cherry W. This game is amazing. If you are looking for the next entry in Hollow Knight, this is it. Go into it with a very loose asshole because you're about to get plugged. It is very, very difficult. There is a whole act that if you are not careful, you will get locked out of. I hate that thing. I hate that style a lot. I've talked about it in the past. I do not like that when you get locked out of a whole part of your gameplay because of something you're not aware of. unless you have to replay the entire difficult game again, but thus be how it be. All right, top 2. All right, which one is going to get Game of the Year? I want to see you guys say in chat. Which one do you guys think is going to get Game of the Year? I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. But a lot of you did put, like, all of you had Donkey Kong Bonanza on yours, and some of you just skipped out entirely on Claire Obscure. Okay, Great Finn saying Expedition 33. Okay. Did you play this, Finn? Did you play it? Because I know a lot of my friends played it. DK was pretty rad. It was very, very good, yes. I did not, but I've watched people. Okay. Both have music and Polt. What the fuck is Polt? What is Polt? The fuck is Polt? Plot. Sure. All right. The second best game for me was Donkey Kong Bonanza, and I'll talk about this. I love Super Mario. I love Super Mario Odyssey. It is my favorite game of all time. And the same team that made that, made this. And they cooked here. The platforming, the movement, masterpieces once again. I never in my life would I think Donkey Kong would have a game about music where it's so integral outside of the conga and the jungle beat, right? And goddamn, the music is wildly good in this game. I, for so long, was like humming the Bonanza transformations for fucking weeks, right? The game also has a level of customization that's similar to what they had for fucking Odyssey with you and Paulina. There's so many good cosmetics that have stat bonuses rather than just being purely cosmetic like they did in Odyssey. There's also so much fan love to all you people who played the classic N64 Donkey Kong or the SNES rare DK games. And I know on the cynical side, people's like, oh, it's nostalgia bait. It's nostalgia bait. They want you to buy a Nintendo Switch 2. It fucking worked. It worked. I loved it. It has a ton of fucking collectibles, and I got every fucking banana up until the end. And then after the end, I did not get bananas after the end, but I got all of them all the way up to the end, right? This also has so many fun speedrun routes. At the time that I wrote my notes, I think the speedrun record was like 2 hours. Let me check right now. Right now, the record is at 1 hour and 4 minutes for being this game. And I believe it, because you can do some fucking insane strats in this game to get speedrun shit and get done. It has the freedom of movement that Breath of the Wild players swear by at every opportunity. You don't want to go in a certain segment of the level, fine, fuck it. You don't have to. Fly over it, fucking shit on it. They don't care. They want you to, dog. You get rewarded for shitting on that segment. Like, that was really cool how you did that. Here's a banana. Pauline's VA, I originally was like, I don't know if I like the idea of it. I loved it by the end. She did a phenomenal job and killed it. Without spoiling the final boss, Wiz saw me fucking scream at their appearance. I was so happy all the way. It was one gigantic hype fest, and I was so happy for it. It was insane. I love this fucking game. That being said, my nitpicks are this. I have 2 nitpicks and 1 con, right? Nitpicks is that I wish the level diversity was a little bit more. The Radiance layer and the Snow layer are very similar to each other to the point where I call them both Snow layers. And that some of the Bonanzas are leagues better than others. The Zebra Bonanza, you run fast, cool. Versus the Elephant Bonanza is just by far and away one of the best Bonanzas you have, because you could just destroy the entire map. Also, the maps being entirely voxel and working on the Nintendo Switch 2, fucking hell, it's so good. My one con for this, and this is a modern note, is that the DLC pricing is atrocious. $15 for essentially Time Attack is that's stupid. That's fucking stupid, Nintendo. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to buy it. So, and I fucking sure as shit didn't. But that is terrible. This game far exceeded my hype for it, and it's a masterclass in its performing, and I understand why it took so long for them to get a Donkey Kong game like this, and understanding how the voxel technology behind the world works. I understand why they straight up said, hey, we can't put this on the Switch 1. It will fucking make the thing implode, right? It made the Switch 2, in my opinion, worth the purchase. I just wish that they would put more out like this. It's a goddamn masterpiece. If you're getting a Switch 2, this is a must-have. So let's talk about one of the most what some people would call one of the most overhyped games of the fucking century, if definitely not the year, Expedition 33, and why I think it deserves every accolade it has fucking gotten, including my own. And for full transparency, I went into this year saying Donkey Kong Bonanza is going to win it for me, right? I didn't even know what this was until I got randomly gifted it, right? I was not tracking its development. I didn't know what it was until it landed in my lap from a friend of mine who gifted it to me. It's the same one who gifted me Nine Souls and Sanabi. He does not miss. Right? I'm not going to discuss the plot to a certain degree because I genuinely think you need to play this game in order to fully experience what it is. I think one of my friends best described it is that this is a modern Final Fantasy VII level type of game where it is generational defining RPG. Do I think that eventually people are going to look back at it and say it's rough? Yes. But I think that's good. That means that we have reached that point where it has evolved past this. We are in a new genre. This is a landmark of its storytelling. For those of you who don't know, every member of this team here is a former Ubisoft employee who, when they pitched their idea, got rejected because they said it was unsafe, it was not a good idea. And they said, fuck you, I'm making the game anyways. And they did. The combat is RPG with a Sekiro parrying mechanic. So it's RPG parry mechanic with a lot of playstyles on how you do it. But that's not why you're here. You're here to know about the soundtrack and the plot. Without giving away too much about the plot, it is very intense, very emotional, and very well written. It is the same, I believe it is the same writer who wrote BG3's plot. And she also wrote the same one who wrote another Game of the Year winner. She has not missed in like the last 3 to 4 years, from what I understand. She helped co-write this one's plot, and it shows. It is a masterclass of writing to every degree. The music I listen to, and I'm not over-exaggerating, daily. The music is a goddamn godsend. And there are plot elements hidden in the music if you speak French. My friend who sent me this did not know, doesn't speak French. I know a little bit of French to enough where I picked up certain words. And so once I got to the part where the music played, and I knew what the plot twist was in that certain area, I said, hey, do you know what this is saying? He said, no. He was done with the game. I said, go look up the translation. He was floored. This game shouldn't be as addicting with its RPG and Sekiro parry elements as it is, but the story, the character interactions, the character development, and everything about it is so well done to such a high degree that you are going to love the time and investment you put into these characters, and you're going to want to keep coming back, right? And that's kind of the nutshell of it, right? Is that there's not many games that have that level of love and care put into them, where every element is made with someone who is putting their entire love into something. That this is what they love what they do. They love their video games. They're doing this as a passion of a project rather than trying to make a buck. It's worth mentioning that the guy who first started this development project didn't know how to make a game. That was not his job at Ubisoft. He had to look up YouTube tutorials. And he got majority of his workers from Reddit. Based. Play this game. I promise you, I know people have been saying it will cure your cancer, it will heal the blind, heal the sick, It'll bring your grandma back from the dead. I can't guarantee it'll do that, but I do think it is one of those landmark games like Final Fantasy VII was to a lot of people, to like Super Mario 64 was to a lot of people. Shit, to what Super Mario Galaxy was to a lot of people. I think this is like that to a lot of people. I agree that it is definitely an extremely good game. I think its story is really, really good. If I had to say what some nitpicks are of mine, I do not have cons. I do not have cons. I have nitpicks. Is that this is on Unreal Engine 5, which has some issues. I'm playing on Unreal on an unusual resolution, which has a small bug here and there. I don't know if they eventually fixed it, but there was a mod day one that fixed it for me. The cutscenes were locked 30 FPS without a mod. There was a fix for that. I'm pretty sure they fixed that pretty fast. Because of UE5, this is pretty demanding on a PC. I know it's on console. If you have a console, play it on console. It has UE5 random crashes and stuff like that. To me, this is one of those games that I was debating on putting in my top 10 of all time, like, favorites. But I think I legitimately enjoy the other 10. Like, the bottom of my top 10 is Left 4 Dead 2, and I come back to Left 4 Dead 2 so goddamn often that I can't see it beating it. But if I had to guess where this is like number 12 or 13. Like, it is up there, up there. Do yourself a favor and give it a shot. I promise you will not be disappointed. All right. That is it. That is every game of this year rated. Let's download that shit. And then, let's total up your guys' points. Let's see how you all did and announce the winner. All right, so with that being said, as you can tell, no one won the auxiliary prize, but like I said, that is to be expected. We expect that shit, you know. All right. How many series playthroughs did we do? We have done 3. We did Mega Man 0, we did Castlevania, and we did Halo. Those were our 3 series playthroughs we have done. Unfortunately, it looks like overwhelmingly we saw a lot of people do 4. We have not done 4. So that is a null. What was the longest stream of the year? The answer was Soy Boy Moraine versus Giga Chad Garl, Sea of Stars. That one was like... I thought Elder Scrolls 2. No, we've never done Elder Scrolls. We haven't done Elder Scrolls. We did New Vegas, but we never... we did only New Vegas. We never did a complete playthrough of, like, all the Fallouts and shit like that, right? So for reference, Giga Chad... Nah, I'm losing it. You might be. So Giga Chad Garl, Soy Boy Moraine, for reference, that one is 3 hours and 55 minutes. What up, Katana? You got us right at the end where we're about to close out our stream. We're totaling up the points from the end of the year. So everyone got that one right. So that is a point. I cannot see, actually, because your guys' usernames are so long. Hecate and Whisk get 1 point. How many streams this year? We did a total of 63 streams this year, which means a point for Hecate and Whisk again. Hey, everyone, shorten your usernames. You're the problem, Hecate. Jesus. Who was the best soldier in our Halo playthrough? Never. It was indeed... Oh, I voted for that. It was indeed Frank. Frank was our best boy. We had like 21 Franks by the end. Once again, Whisk and Hecate. What was the first game streamed exclusively on YouTube? This one was very divisive. We had one for Omori, one for Lies of P, and one for Left 4 Dead 2. And the answer was Lies of P. Hecate gets the point. That one you can sort by going into our live section on YouTube and sort by oldest. I think our first stream was We Back. I'm actually looking at it now. Actually, It was technically fusion into Liza P, but we count that as Liza P. Doesn't matter. All right. Next, this was a freebie for everyone. It was what game were you the most excited for in 2026? I'm glad to see everyone's excited for games. So that's a freebie. Everyone gets a point. What games do I have the most hours in? All of you mother truckers. Yeah, I went through the videos. I figured. She metagamed that shit. All of you mother truckers said Path of Exile 2, and you are correct. I honestly, when I first put this together, I thought it was Torchlight 2. It is Path of Exile 2, literally by 0.2 hours. Nuh-uh, the Great Finn didn't answer. You're so right. So you all get points for Path of Exile 2. All right, what was the lowest rated game from 2024? It was indeed Stranger Z. That game is non-functional. You actually cannot even get a hold of it anymore on Steam. It is that bad. Hecate got that one correct. This was a freebie. What series would you like to play through next? Everyone did answer. So that's a free point for everybody. Next was, what was the game of the year from 2023? We had, and the answer was, I think Hecate's going to get it. I think so too. But we're still going to read out. And the answer was indeed Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and the Great Finn got that one. He's getting a point on the board. Look at him go. It was indeed Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I think runner-up was Pizza Tower. I wanted it to be Pizza Tower, but Mario Bros. Wonder was so fucking goated. What game did we stream closest to its launch day? That was indeed Splitgate 2. Whist and Hecate both got that one right. I think we streamed that like literally launch week because I was having fun with it. And then we got a freebie for everyone. I asked what was a more unorthodox stream you'd like to see. We saw workouts and tier list and t-shirts. That's good to hear. All right, that means I don't think I need a total of points. Hecate, you are again our reigning champion. You are the winner of our 2025 video game tier list trivia. Any of the I was a creeper. What can I say, man? Don't say that. That means any of the 59 games that we rated tonight. Just message me and I will gift you on Steam. I would recommend picking one that's not a free-to-play game. I really recommend doing one of those. Or one of the ones that's not one of the worst of the year. I don't recommend Chucksy. I don't recommend Poets Void. I don't recommend My Summer Car. I don't recommend Receiver 2. And I definitely don't recommend Uno at its current stage. Just message me and we will get that sorted out. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. It was a really fun year. I know we played a couple of video games less this year, and we streamed a lot less this year than we did last year. Tomorrow, it's going to be a much shorter stream. We have our 2025 Uno, I saw your message. 2025 anime tier list. We only have like 23 anime we'll be rating, so it's going to be a pretty damn short stream in compared to our almost 4-hour stream tonight. Make sure to tune in, same time, 6 o'clock. It'll probably be like 2 hours. Tomorrow's grand prize is that if you get the trivia correct, it is a... What did I say what it was? If you get the trivia correct tomorrow night, all the trivia questions, if you're the winner, you get a 1-year subscription that Crunchyroll paid on me. I will gift you a 12-month subscription to Crunchyroll so you can watch all the anime your little heart desires. If you're interested in participating, I will post our Discord link in the chat. You just got to join our Discord, and you can participate with us. It is a fun time. I know it's a lot. I hope to see you there. We tend to hang out pretty nicely. But that being said, I hope to see you guys all there tomorrow at 6 p.m. And yeah. It'll be a shorter stream for sure, and yeah, we'll go from there. Up next to keep up the rain. Yep. We will be back tomorrow at 6 p.m., and then after that, I'll probably be taking a week off, and then we'll be back at it for the next year. All right, everyone. Have a great night. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.